So welcome on down to the Rick Shiels Golf Show podcast, everybody. Episode number 77. We've got some guests today.
Yes.
One of them has been on the channel before, but not in the new studio.
Not in the new studio, which is unbelievable, by the way.
And his brother's here today, who have also got a joint YouTube channel together, Tubes and Ange Golf Life.
That's it.
We filmed some videos today, which were fun. They're going to be coming out soon. But we thought, well, we've got you here in Manchester. It'd be rude not to do a podcast on the number one podcast in golf, powered by our really good friends Motocaddy. And today's episode, you're very honoured. We thought we'd save it for your episode to announce the winner of the Dear Rick section today.
Wow.
So listen, this is a big deal.
How big's that?
Hundreds, if not thousands, of emails came through for Dear Rick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why I don't know. Asking for my advice.
For a free trolley, not for your advice.
We've given some very
New
dodgy.
M7's lovely.
Yeah.
We've given some very dodgy advice.
Yeah.
But today we've got one more Dear Rick, so we're gonna kick that off first, if you don't mind. Today,
Oh, of course, you do.
I think people listening will just be on the edge of their seats as they're driving to work or cutting the lawn or whatever they're doing, listening to this podcast, or in the gym trying to come up with other solutions. And people go, "That's me. I'm doing that."
Exactly.
That's it.
Shopping.
To find out who's going to be drawn to have the winner of the first prize, which is a Motocaddy superb trolley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they make a superb trolley, but a trolley by Motocaddy. As in, that's not the name
That's
of
not
it.
the name of it.
The Motocaddy,
The Motocaddy Superb.
Yeah.
Glenn Hoddle had one, yeah, and it had like an iPad screen on
Yeah,
the front of
that's-
it.
that's
It
like the
was
one I've
a
got.
Joke. It was
Yeah.
like, it was playing games and all sorts.
It's made my game so much more enjoyable.
They are
Yeah, it's
unbelievable.
incredible.
But, well, what I was thinking, Rick, is this Dear Rick, I've picked on purpose because I think Tubes and Ange could throw in the two
Nice.
pence worth. What's
Nice.
how do you say that?
Two
Say?
pence,
Two
yeah.
pence
Yeah,
worth.
Yeah.
So maybe just before we do that then, because some of the listeners will have listened to the first podcast with Tubes that went down very well. Some people might not have done. So maybe just a quick couple of minutes on who Tubes and Ange actually are for our listeners that aren't aware. Because if they're not aware now, they will be very soon, because you have got one of the best up-and-coming golf channels on YouTube.
Thank you very
100%.
much.
Oh, thank you.
We're trying. Yeah.
Well, no, it is. It's really good. And
Thanks.
I'd say, well, I'll give it a quick what I think it is, and then if you two want to elaborate on it, I would say your channel is you two brothers
Yeah.
playing golf in a fun way, in a light-hearted way, with often having guests of the elite Premier League footballers, some household names, and it's just easy and fun to watch. It's almost like a podcast, but it's a YouTube video.
Pretty much it.
Yeah, it's basically what we set out to do when we started it 2 years ago, wasn't it? It was like to do long form interview whilst playing golf. And when we started, what I thought, certainly, I don't know about you, I thought all the fun sort of like 3-4 minute videos, like
wacky videos, catching
videos,
things
if
in
you like,
buckets. And,
bucket challenge,
yeah,
you know.
which were fun to make, let's be honest. But
Catch Me If You Can. We had like a baseball mitt, and we'd go down there. John Terry was hitting them like 250 yards. I was trying to catch it. I thought that they would fly, but it was the 4-hole challenge, like the long form interview on the golf course about like I was saying, like a podcast on the golf course that did so well. So
it was a good mould, wasn't it?
yeah, so
It's basically what you do on Sky, but we were talking earlier, weren't we? The fact that you get 5 minutes on a TV show, but you probably interviewed that person for 15, 20 minutes. So we were thinking, if we start this channel, that 15 minutes it would normally get chucked in the can, we would include it in our videos.
Yeah.
We can cut out what we want to cut out. We don't really cut out anything, do
No.
we? And we can just leave it up to what we want to do, really.
yeah.
You can sweep up the mess that would have been left on the cutting room floor and
Yeah.
actually put it together
And
to
some
a
of it's
product.
gold, and some of it's gold.
And I think if you're just walking down the fairway, it's such a great environment, like we were today. Like you came on our channel, which is massive for us, but to learn about your career and and have a laugh as well. It's quite we can do everything. We can have a laugh, muck around, serious chat, discuss important issues, and birdie dance.
Absolutely.
I think annoyingly, we showed you our new studio today. We're really proud of it, and you've been very kind about it. But we've had the noisiest day. There's people above us we can hear. So Harry, can you hear them or not on the mics? No. Okay, that's good. Well, we might hear
Matt,
some.
could you go and throw some muscle out there, please?
Yeah, Matt's really muscly. So
His arms are
stacked, by
huge.
the way.
yeah, he'll go and have a word.
I'll be quiet if you told me, Matt.
Tank of a man.
So as Matt goes and sorts somebody out.
Are you ready for this Dear Rick then?
Let's do it.
Can I just say though,
Go on.
this studio is brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well impressed. Unbelievable.
It's brilliant.
15 years, bruv. We'll
We'll
have something similar.
keep grinding. We'll keep grinding. We'll go.
We'll keep playing bad golf and trying to make people laugh.
Right.
I'd like to say, going back to your channel, though, you do a great job. And if
really
people
good.
aren't subscribed, and also you touched on it there, and I know we're going to come on to it in a bit, people, again, listening to America, probably don't know Tubes' kind of history. Like I say, you might have listened to the podcast, but Tubes is a presenter on Soccer AM, which is one of the biggest TV shows here on Sky, all about football, weirdly called Soccer AM. Yeah. All about football. You started off, I know we're going to probably dive into that a little bit, but started off as a kind of a test tube baby.
Yeah.
and then you've turned into
of a character.
You've turned into
come on.
a serious interviewer doing a fine job. So
Thank you,
that's kind of wanted to express that as well before the audience go. Who the hell is?
And we've got
who
no
the hell are
notes
these guys?
today. We're just going to freestyle. We know you two can talk, which we've experienced today, which has been great. We've had a lot of witty banter. Rick was on form, doing something you said you'd never do on camera.
Brilliant.
I didn't think I'd ever pull it out on the golf course. I didn't think, but
he pulled it out on the golf course.
I pulled it out.
You pulled it out on the golf course. You performed it very, very well. You also hit one of the best shots I've ever seen in my whole entire life. It was a joke.
Let's just talk through that shot briefly, actually.
I think it's the best shot I've seen live.
We'll come on to Deer in a minute, but that was in the top 5 golf shots I've seen you hit, 100%, maybe even top 3.
Distance, sound, shape.
Yeah,
it was unbelievable.
Come on, Rick, set the scene.
No, I'll be getting it out again in a minute.
Probably here and there.
Par 5, 18th hole. I won't ruin the score of the match, but it was a must-make hole.
Yeah.
I was 230 yards to the flag. Wind very much into. Ball below my feet. Gallery crowd looking around. In expectation of a decent shot, which I didn't disappoint. In my head,
Definitely didn't.
I don't want to ruin it because it was such a great shot. No, I won't ruin it. So in my head, it's exactly how I pictured it going. I kind of hit this like low bullet stinger 3-iron that kind of like mid-flight. It did something that old school golf balls used to do. Mid-flight, it almost took a level up. Like it started off
taking off.
It started off super low, and like the old Bellata balls, what they used to do, they used to spin really late in the flight, so they come out super low, and you'd spin it up high. And this ball came out like a bullet. I thought that's a bit low, that, and suddenly it just turned on the rocket boosters and started to climb. Little draw, landed over the bunker that was probably about a 225 carry. Rolled around and probably had a little glance inside the hole. Had a little look for albatross and went, nah, not today, Rick.
Yeah.
Ran 15-foot past. We thought it was stiffer than stiff.
Yeah.
Had a weak effort at eagle, but it was the shot that went in there was pretty.
When it fizzes at least 100 yards away from you, it's a good shot. You just fizz the whole way. I was like, wow.
Sounded beautiful.
Thank you, gentlemen. You can come again.
Just one thing I'm conscious of. Yesterday, out the blue, I had a nosebleed. So I keep thinking I can feel it bleeding again. It's not doing, but if I touch my nose a lot, I'm not picking my nose. It just feels, you know what I mean? It feels weird. And last thing I want to do, while it's on camera, and it is on camera, this is getting filmed. So if you listen to this on audio only and you want to dip in and out and have a look at the clips, it will be on the second YouTube channel, the Rick Shiels Golf Show.
But you don't have to. I don't think you get offended, but if you want
sometimes
to,
people don't like that.
Luxury.
But if I'm not picking my nose, if you're watching it, and I also appreciate Rick using the big mic stand because I didn't really fancy using that, but you've bit the bullet, and you've got the big one.
It suits you. It looks good.
Yeah. I'm used to.
Yeah.
To what?
This.
Anyway,
right, let's go on to this Dear Rick. The final Dear Rick of this series. There's been some really good ones actually, and what Rick normally does is Rick's quite hard to grab his attention. Sometimes he floats in and out. He's always thinking of different stuff. But when it comes to Dear Rick, he gets really thoughtful. Sometimes closes his eyes. Actually, the advice you've given this kind of series, I think, has been a mixture of amazing and outrageous.
Sketchy.
It's been very, very peculiar, but people have enjoyed it.
What would you say your best bit of advice you've given?
Oof. Divorcing your wife.
Yeah, so ours goes down well.
That was one of the ones I went in there. Ditching your mates, finding new mates.
That's everything that Rick does in real life.
I don't divorce my wife. What was the other one I did? There was one last week where I talked about
people
cheating.
Up if they cheat. You said you'd tip balls at them naked.
Yeah.
Something weird. Yeah, it goes into strange places.
We've been many different places, yeah.
So we normally keep them anonymous as well. This week's is from Anonymous, and it says, "Hey guys, big fan here. I'd be over the moon if you could discuss this quick question. I started playing golf at the age of 40. I got a few lessons straight away to learn the basics, mechanics, technique, etc. I joined a shortish 9-hole course in Cornwall, and I started to play pretty well. I got my first handicap a couple of months later, which was 14.
Really good.
It's a really good first handicap. Since then, it's a year later, I've joined a tougher golf club, and my handicap has fluctuated between 14 and 17. So when it says handicap, I don't know if it's an official handicap. We can't jump by 3 shots, but that's roughly what he's shooting. My good rounds are solid, but my bad rounds are awful.
Okay.
Capital AWFUL, awful. Capitals is really meaning this. Can an old dog learn new tricks? Should I be hopeful to improve further, or am I late to the party in your opinion? Thanks a lot for taking the time to read this. So I wanted 2 opinions. Yours from the professional.
Yeah.
But I know you Tube, started a bit later at golf, and it's a similar kind of level to you, so I'm keen to hear your thoughts as well.
Well, first off, props for picking it up at 40 and within a very short space of time going off 14.
Yeah.
Like, he must have some sort of sporting background, because you only really get that from a sporting background.
Ability,
like, if he's played hockey or tennis or, racket-based sports, typically when I remember teaching students, and sometimes, as I was mentioning to you on the golf course, they're like, if you've got that ability of getting club on ball, you can get it round, you can play, and you've got a bit of touch and whatever it may be. So he's done amazing there. But you're right, there is times where he's probably reached his expectations quicker than he expected. And I think that's where, when the bad rounds take place, then he can't quite deal with it. Because I think when you're going up the ranks, obviously he's 40 and just started playing, but if you are in your 20s and just start playing and whatever, you have your bad rounds and you grow through them and you learn from your bad rounds and you learn to deal with them to a certain degree, don't you?
Yeah,
it's not nice. Nobody likes doing it, but you learn from it. I feel like he's come in and gone, I've cracked this.
Yeah,
I'm off 14. But he's never experienced those shockers that we probably all did as we first started playing golf, really.
Sometimes, might sound silly this, but our good rounds can almost do us more harm than good. Because if say he's off 14 and he might have shot a 10 over par once, that's great for his confidence, but you almost expect to do that more because you know you can do it. Whereas actually your ability might be 18 over as a rule.
It happened to me last week. We filmed with our hero, Gianfranco's la. And then we played straight after, and I shot 11 over. And I was like...
shaking, weren't you? You were
I was so buzzing, like old school buzzing. I was like, yes. And I thought, that's it. So I'm now, I can play golf. Next day, everything left. And it was so frustrating. So you can get those sort of full scores and think, yes, I'm amazing now. I'm like... And it's not. We were
talking out on the course, weren't we, about that? Just like the better you get, you always got expectations, so you always think you're going to do better and better, and it's just not the case. You're a great golfer. You always think, left shot out there. I should have done better there. No matter how good you get, you've always got that. Oh, I could do better. And I think no matter what standard you are, if you have a good round, the reality is you're not going to match that round because that's not your standard of golf, but it's in there somewhere. But it just never clicks.
It's weird. I use the analogy of running a lot, but like if you went out today and did your best ever 5K and let's just call it 20 minutes on the nose, you can do that now. So obviously weather could play a part, what you've had to eat that morning, or fitness and stuff, pulling a muscle here and there. But as a rule, you can do that if everything goes right. But with golf, you might shoot 80 one day, but because everything went right, but that might not happen again possibly ever, which is quite worrying to think about. But it's so hard to play your best golf, and it happens so infrequently.
I think as well, when you look at playing your best golf, if you actually really analyse it from a really neutral perspective, even your good rounds, you'll still pick up points where you could have held something or something could have dropped. But I tell you what, a lot of golfers don't do very often is actually highlight where they got lucky that round of golf. Oh, do you remember when it hit that tree on the third? And instead of bouncing out of bounds, it bounced in play. And do you remember that time where I felt like I pulled that putt, but it caught the bottom edge and lipped in? Yeah. Or do you remember that time when it was going to go in the bunker and it just stayed on the lip and it was safe? You kind of forget those lucky points, don't you, really?
You expect them, didn't you?
Yeah.
You expect them. Why should I expect? What's the odds of that happening? Slim.
And you only remember the bad situations. And then when you play bad, obviously the luck doesn't go your way sometimes, and that's how it kind of rolls. You hit off the tree and it goes out of bounds, or you find the water or whatever it may be, and suddenly your score starts racking up. I think it's just analysing that after you've played to go, okay, I wasn't firing all cylinders there, but I got a bit unlucky here and I got a bit unlucky there, and maybe I chose the wrong club at this situation or whatever it may be. Also lost my head. We've all done that. Yeah. After 6 holes, I'm playing crap and I've lost my head, and I'm suddenly now trying to smash the ball as hard as I can. Yeah.
You know what else I think he's I know he said his name then, but keep Mr. Anonymous. He's done, I think he's not giving himself credit for. He starts off by saying he's been playing golf a year and got to 14 at a shortish 9-hole golf course. He's now joined a tougher golf course.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
And he says that he stayed between 14 and 17. Now, that's what the new handicap index is so useful, because obviously that new golf course might be 5-6 shots harder.
Easily. So,
if you're still shooting around that score a lot of the time, that's great. You might have the odd bad one, but that's going to happen. So it sounds to me like he's almost been too hard on himself.
He's putting too much pressure on himself.
Yeah. It sounds like he's really wanting to improve at a rate of knots. Yeah. And for someone that starts at 40, It's a 14 handicap.
That's
I
you
mean,
should be proud.
yeah.
Mr. Anonymous is.
I'd take
Done
that,
well.
Mr. Anon.
Well, the UK average is 18 handicap.
Yeah.
So if you're below 18, you're better than average.
Yeah. And that's what, if you've played golf for such a short period of time, I think he's done great. And I think anybody listening who sometimes doesn't think they've improved, just almost reset your parameters and think, well, what's the thing what do I enjoy taking out of
What
golf?
are you in it for? Yeah.
What am I in it for? And then if it doesn't go my way, that's golf.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very much our channel's model, and we're not great golfers. We're never going to be great golfers, but
You could be.
do we have a great time doing it? Yeah,
We
like
love
it's the best thing in the world. Playing with your mates, like having a crack, hitting bad shots, hitting good shots, having a laugh.
Us two catching up, talking about family.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just a good way to sort your head out and
Yeah.
fitness, whatever you want to, how you want to do it, and that's
If you hit a perler down the middle, happy days.
Then great,
Exactly.
If you shank one in the bush, not so good. Happy days.
Walk off and snap your clubs.
yeah, they get the op.
This has felt like a very mellow start to the show. This has been nice. I like that, Derek. I feel like we're giving some advice. I mean, really, what we should have said, he should quit golf and not play
Yeah.
again.
Forget it.
You
You're
know,
not going to make it.
Yeah.
But he should be happy. He's 14 after a year, starting at 40. Mr. Anon, cheer up. Be
and you might
happy.
be in a chance for winning the
Well,
Motocaddy.
before we do that quickly, I think we've kind of joked about in the last 10 weeks about Motocaddy because we were looking for a podcast sponsor. Motocaddy came on board and they've been phenomenal. We've been using the trolleys for the past kind of 10 weeks. It's got to the point where we went and played 9 holes in the morning as a bit of a catch-up brainstorming session, and we both took our electric trolleys to use over 9 holes, which I almost couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it.
But it's got to the point for us now, you almost don't play. You used it today.
Yeah.
You almost don't play golf without it. And again, we would never have a sponsor on the podcast if we didn't massively believe in the product, because it's not going to work, is it? But we've loved the product. But actually, I think certainly you've loved it even more than you imagined to. What's been the main benefits for you of using the Motocaddy?
Freedom. Like, it's felt easier.
Yeah.
Like, I've played it's actually coincided really well with the EP78 series. So be able to actually use it and play and just have that luxury of going, I can put as much crap in my bag. I'm going to put 2 umbrellas in and loads of waterproofs if need to, and drinks and grenade bars and all this, like, and just pack the bag and off you go. And it feels like it's stress free. I really like the remote.
You weren't sure on that at the start.
I felt
I
like
was a bit jealous when I saw that. I was like, I wouldn't fancy that.
At the start?
I felt very conscious.
Because I think I'd crash it.
Yeah, I've never crashed it.
Crash it. I think I'd crash
Well,
it.
you have crashed it.
No.
You're quite good you've got good handling skills, actually.
Yeah, I've not
The
crashed.
reverses and 3-point turns, the whole shebang.
Exactly.
And it's got
Bit of drifting, wheel
Yeah.
spin.
It's actually got a fourth wheel on it, like a stabilizer wheel as well. But like, the only thing I felt a bit conscious about is I didn't want to come across as a bit of a posy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Hi, I'm Rick
Ooh,
Shiels.
look at me!
Yeah.
They have
Look at me!
They have got that stigma, but I mean,
Look at me with my trims, and my rims, and my remote, and this, that, and the other.
riding on 12s. Don't worry
But I
about
think
it.
once I got over that, and once I started to, embrace that, and it frees me up. I can smoke cigars now.
Yeah.
Something I never used to do. So I can now, and I can put my red velvet jacket on.
You
that I've
smoke a
always
lot of
wanted to-
cigars. It's gone to like 1 a hole now. It used to be 1 every night, and Rick
If
would
I'd
light
done
up.
that earlier, I would have got one out.
What's
Would've
annoying
got
though
one.
is,
somebody's
well, he's
bag.
not,
Got
he
some in
doesn't.
the
He won't
bag.
light his own cigar. So he has to go, Matt, come and light the cigar for me. And Matt has to run over with his muscles out and send your cigar for you.
There you go, sir. Yeah, it's been good. I've used it way more than expected. I'll continue to use it. Thank you, Motocaddy, for sponsoring the podcast. You've been amazing sponsors, and hopefully it may continue in the future.
Yeah, no, last thing on that, it has, for me, I used to use an electric trolley many moons ago when I was a decent junior. But if you are into your golf and you're serious about it, it's something, obviously they can be expensive, but worth possibly considering, because you do feel better towards the end of your round. And if you're playing local club comps and you want to play, save a stroke here and there, I genuinely think it has the potential to do so.
We're not affiliated to Motocaddy anymore. I've got one, and I love it. Yeah, I think they're great.
No, they are good
There you
bits
go.
of kit. So,
Look at this. Perfect.
what I'm going to do, right, Rick, we've got the emails in a folder from week 1 of this to week 10, literally in order.
Okay.
And
I remember every one of them.
I've got a random generator on my phone between 1 and 10. It
Okay.
currently says number 4 because it hasn't been done yet. So
Okay.
that's just literally on Google. So the first one I'm going to do, I'm not going to read out yet. I'll say the number of it though.
Okay.
They're going to win the trolley.
Okay.
And the next one is going to win the bag.
Perfect.
Okay. So the first one,
Good luck, everyone. All 10 people.
Come on.
the first one,
Come on.
okay.
Oh.
I'll
Great
show
prizes.
it to you.
Okay.
Okay. So the bag is number 5, which was when we had Sophie Walker on, the person that said they'd fallen out of love with
Oh,
golf
yeah.
and had lost loads of weight.
Well, today you have just won a Motocaddy bag.
Yes.
Congratulations.
And
I
the
can't
one-
remember his name, but it was, the one with Sophie Walker.
The
So
one that
what did he
came-
say? He fell out of love with golf.
So basically, if I just pull it up quickly, I won't go through it all.
and
again,
he's lost
obviously.
loads of weight.
It was
Yeah, he
basically
got into
a
golf to
guy-
lose weight.
Right.
And honestly, I can't remember the number, but he lost loads of weight.
From
Yeah, he
just
came-
walking
he-
the golf course.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Oh,
came
really?
back
Good
a
on you.
little
Both
while
colours.
ago into
I
golf.
know, yeah, I know,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
He became really good at golf,
Yeah.
and then
Do you want a quick line from
ended
it,
up
Rick?
falling out of love with golf, weirdly.
Getting back into golf has been a massive positive effect on me. I've lost 4.5 stone in
Gee.
weight. I found I was 36 handicap and heavy. He couldn't swing very well. Yeah, and he lost loads of weight, but he was getting a bit annoyed with his scores. So,
guys, just enjoy your
There's a
golf.
common theme,
Just
isn't there?
enjoy your
The
golf.
better you get, the more annoyed you get.
and the one that actually came in first was actually number 10.
The one that we
But
just
we've
read out.
just done, weirdly. Yeah.
So there's two people who have fallen out of love with golf. You've just won some prizes. Get back into it.
Yeah. We're
Sure
sending
they'll
them
come
to
back.
you.
You'll actually
Send
know I
your
love it
address.
really still.
They'll be on
Get yourself back into golf now. You've got a trolley
So
and a bag.
Yeah.
So the Motocaddy trolley is going to the one that we've just read out, the Deer Rick, and that was genuinely just done. There's no reason to fudge it. You know what the best thing is? We're just going to put it in the box on Motocaddy R. They're just going to write the word anonymous on it and see where it gets to.
Yeah.
See how you get on.
We've no idea where the people live and the names or whatever it may be. But honestly, thank you so much for all the people who emailed into Dear Rick, and we'll keep the section going. And potentially, we might have another sponsor coming very soon.
Yeah.
Right, should we get into the podcast?
Let's do it.
That was just the intro, basically.
That was just a little yeah.
So, brothers,
Brothers,
your oldest, aren't you, Pete?
I am.
Bye.
39 and
I'm
34, I think I am.
Yeah. 5 years.
5 years.
Now joint content creators
Yep.
on the channel. Golf partners.
Yep.
Best friends.
Best mates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get on so well.
You seem
Without getting
like
emotional.
very You
We've
seem
always,
very
We've always been best mates, really. I think we had one fight in my 34 years of existence.
fight.
Yeah.
Who won?
And I'll tell you what it was. It was. Do you remember?
I'd say Ange.
Do you remember? Yeah, he absolutely. I'd done me
He was
massively.
15, I was 10.
Right, what it was. Do you remember Diddy Kong Racing?
Yeah, on the
Oh, yeah,
Nintendo.
yeah, I do.
64.
So anyway, I was a bit better at Diddy Kong Racing than him. But then
Ancient Lake, wasn't it? I remember the. I remember the track.
Yeah,
Yeah.
golf course. I was with my girlfriend at the time. I'm not really a show off, but I was showing off. So I've gone past him, and I'm like, woo, woo, like that, and I've started spinning round on the finish line.
Was it L1?
Yeah, he was spinning around on the finish line, and he didn't like that. He just turned around and went, bosh. I was like literally,
All sorts.
I was like unconscious for
Grounded,
like
mum
two
came in.
Goodness.
massive fight.
Oh my
All
word.
over Diddy Kong Racing. Can you believe it?
Well, that's a bloody fight though. If after a few hours you probably made up and you were fine.
Oh, yeah, we were kicking footballs to each other
for
for
about 3 or 4 days. I was unconscious.
I wouldn't want to crack a Ange.
Mate, it was a big punch.
So-
But I never cheated again at Diddy Kong Racing.
We didn't cheat. You just
No,
said
no.
that.
I didn't.
just showing
I didn't, yeah, I didn't show it, and I never showed off. So it taught me a lesson.
And then kind of, I want to almost don't want to dive too. When did you first meet?
How did you meet?
Well, you know,
When did you?
Mum, what's that? Oh, okay.
Tell us a bit about the golf. Like, who started playing golf first?
I
Big
started playing golf, I think it was probably about 13, 14. My uncle bought me an Odyssey 2-ball putter for Christmas because he was a keen golfer and he used to play at Wimbledon Park. He loved
Uncle
it. He was
Steve.
quite good. I think he paid off 8, best standard golf at 8. And then I was showing interest and I was starting to play golf with Ben, his son. And he was like, I'll buy you a club. And then from that, I was just like, it was the best thing. It was one of the best Christmases I've ever got. And I was just down Paxton Park, our local sort of track, putting. I was like, I'm getting into this. I was getting in the bug. I was like, yeah, can't wait. And I was like, Mum, can I have a set of clubs? Got a second-hand set of clubs, didn't I?
Yeah.
And that was it, really, from that.
Really?
I couldn't put them down. Yeah, it was just a great... I was playing football at the time, but I was always sort of half head.
the thing with Ange, he always needs to be involved. So if he's in a team game and he hasn't got the ball, when he was younger anyway, he's a bit like, So with golf, you're in command.
You always have the ball.
Yeah, you're always
It's your
got the
ball.
Yeah. So-
You can take the ball home if you don't want to play
exactly.
anymore.
He's
What I
always
didn't
got
like
the
with
ball.
football is I used to... the team could be playing well, and I'll be playing bad, and I'll be like, oh, this is really annoying me. Or the vice versa. I was playing well on the team where we lost. I'm like, I play really well, and the team's lost. Whereas golf, it's up to you. It's your game. You know, even when you're playing with other people or a team game, it's still what your outcome affects.
Of course.
Affects everything, and I like that format. I like that. It makes me concentrate more, and 4 hours of concentrating, not thinking about anything else is like we talked about a bit. It mentally, I think it's just great.
So you then became a junior member somewhere as well?
I didn't join a
Betchworth.
club until I was, probably 2 years later, probably about 16 at
Yeah,
Betchworth.
Betchworth.
Betchworth Park in Dorking.
And you got a handicap at 16?
I got an official handicap of 22, but I was probably, I don't know why it was so high. I was probably playing off 16, 15 at the time. I was like, I'll take that, thank you very much. 22, brilliant. There for a couple of years, moved to London, came back, joined Clarendon.
Yeah, Clarendon.
And now we're
Regis,
both
yeah.
at Fox Hills down in Surrey.
When did you say that you moved to proper London, like London?
Yeah, I moved.
Is
to,
it hard to play golf in London?
For me, it never really bothered me because I never played
We
golf.
weren't playing them.
At
were
the
you?
time, you weren't
No,
that bothered.
so-
But when you moved to London,
My mates were all late to the game. Apart a couple of people I used to play with, but now all my mates play. They love it. And
so much more popular now.
It's great, but I didn't really have anyone to play with. So unless I wanted to get involved, go back to my old club and try and get involved with a few rounds, I didn't. I sort of I was hitting ranges and stuff, but I downed tools for a bit. I sort of, every couple of weeks, maybe a month, I'd get out, but not consistent.
but lands at a premium down in London. There's not many golf courses in the city, is there, at all?
Not in that.
There's that one oddly on the top of the reservoir, which I can't remember its name now. It's like one of the oldest courses in London. It's on top of a underground reservoir. I'll try and pull it up somewhere. There was quite a cool story about it recently,
I love that.
and I think that's the closest golf club to central London. If you were to pin in central London, I'm sure there's a golf course in. We'll dig it up in a minute and find
There's a
it.
few top golfs in Central. I think like down by Docklands is a
Well,
big
that's
top
it. But
golf
probably
and
not
stuff.
when you were growing up.
Oh no, nothing.
No,
And
definitely.
so
no.
to actually
Definitely not.
play golf, you'd have to go out
Yeah.
of
yeah.
town.
Yeah.
You've got to go out to
Is it
Surrey.
Aquarius golf.
Yeah, that's it. Aquarius.
Was it an 18-hole golf course?
I think it's
Where
9.
is it?
Yeah.
Pete, can you just move your mic slightly towards your mouth? Sorry, so
Yeah.
it's on more of an angle.
Yeah.
There we go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Should I text off Harry?
Sorry, Harry.
Aquarius. I've just put in London Golf Club.
Yeah, that's the one.
Reservoir, and it came up.
So it's I think it's a 9-holer. It's built on top of a reservoir, but I'm sure that's the closest geographically to the centre of
never knew
London.
that.
Knowledge.
I saw a video on it recently, and but I know like you've got to go out to Surrey, you've got to go out to the outskirts
Yeah.
to actually be able to get some decent golf in. Once you get out of those outskirts, though,
Hundreds.
golf
Yeah.
is
I know.
phenomenal.
Unbelievable.
In like Cobham,
We're so lucky.
I don't know how close you are to
That's
Cobham.
where we live.
That's where we
Oh,
live.
golf there
Yeah.
is
Incredible.
ridiculous. Like Burr Hill, you've got Silvermere, Fox Hills, Wisley. I don't know if that's actually comes under
Queenswood.
Where's close, yeah.
Yeah.
Like some unbelievable golf
What's the
courses
one,
around there.
What were we talking about earlier?
Beaverbrook.
Oh, Beaverbrook. Yeah, good luck getting
I mean,
there.
some mega exclusive
Oh,
ones as well.
unbelievable.
But like Silvermere is a phenomenal venue.
It's a great.
I've never played that
facility
course
there.
well.
It's a
I
great finish.
can't play that course well.
It was something like the most used golf facility in the UK.
Yeah.
Like with the golf courses,
really?
the driving ranges, everything. Yeah, I think it was
Wow.
because they've got 1 or 2 courses there.
Just the one.
One.
But it's like the busiest golf course because of where it is, its location, its price,
Yeah.
its availability.
Right off the
it's
M25,
it's
right
not
off the
it's not
A3.
as stuffy as
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
not stuffy Beaverbrook or
No, no,
Queenswood.
you
If
mean-
you ever
yeah,
do want me
accessible.
out, I'll
Yeah.
happily come over there to play. But as in, like it is more accessible.
Yeah.
So going back, so when you were playing loads, you just had no interest, Pete, at all.
Not really, no. Like I'd
Oh,
go,
by the way, just a very quick caveat for people listening: you've got several names between you. So at the moment, I'm going to call Tubes, Pete, Pat, Test Tube. Any others?
Pat
Pat
Sharp.
Sharp.
Oh, there's loads. There's
Pat
loads.
Noodle.
Well, let's
Pat
stick.
Noodle.
We stick with tubes for this
I'm gonna
time
stick with
being,
tubes
so we
for
know
you.
where we're at.
And then
Pat.
Ange.
Ange.
Big Ange.
But that's not your name.
No, my name's
she's got
Andrew.
Andrew.
Oh, right.
Which I mean,
Yeah.
not even my mum calls me Andrew. I don't even know. Yeah.
We used to call you Angus Fraser
Yeah.
as well.
My dad
didn't
just
we?
like called me Angus Fraser, who was an English cricketer.
Yeah,
I
we're not.
think.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah. I
We're
don't
just a
even
bit
know.
weird
Yeah, we're just-
family. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go with Tubes.
Well, we've
and
got
Ange.
Ladders. We've got the cameraman. We call him the Raving Pig.
Yeah.
Like,
The raving.
And did you
pig.
just call him Ladders a second
no,
ago?
Lavers.
Oh, I thought you called him Ladders.
we could call him
His
Ladders.
surname's Lavelle, so we just
Lavelle.
I thought he had a nickname on top of a nickname there.
Ladders because he's
So
got
you-
massive legs.
At this point,
Yeah.
your younger brother's playing golf,
Yeah.
really getting into it,
Yeah.
getting quite good from his standards, and
Yeah.
and you just had no interest at this point.
Not really. No, I was more football. I
Football,
love
everything.
Football. And going to watch football. I love football. Yeah,
Just
basically.
saying the word football.
Yeah,
Football.
football.
I think he loves football.
Yeah. I had no interest really. I used to go and play the odd round, but I found after about 8 holes I'd get bored.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'll see you in the bar afterwards.
Wow.
your attention span to golf
Yeah,
is
I'd
crazy.
go and watch football.
Considering you grew up as great mates and brothers and everything else, and you probably did a lot of things together, I guess you spent a lot of time together. Was that the one thing that you did almost separately?
Yeah.
You know what?
It-
When
we'd
you
go-
say it like that, it's weird
It is.
because
You'd
we
go
did
to-
do everything together, but it wasn't like it never crossed paths. It
We'd
was
go and watch Chelsea together.
Yeah,
And on a Sunday,
we played
I'd go
football
and-
together.
I'd go and play
Played
football.
in the same football team.
He'd go and play golf.
You know what's mad though with golf? You know, like sometimes you like something and you almost can't comprehend how somebody else can't like it. So, for example, I love salt and vinegar quavers, right?
Strange.
What about someone in the discos?
Oh,
Yeah,
they're
I
the
also
ones-
like
those
those.
are the
They are
ones.
So
Something
I
else,
can't
yeah.
imagine how someone can't like those crisps because I think they're that nice, right? You with
I'm
me?
with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
With golf, I love golf, but I also can understand why certainly youngsters would hate it or find it boring because 18 holes of golf can be perceived as very slow and quite boring. And you do find a lot of people, probably like YouTubes, didn't like it as youngsters. And as you get older and you actually enjoy that, going out on the fresh air and chatting to people,
Yeah.
it becomes so much more like appealing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I do think, I know it's a bit kind of deep from where we're going here, but I do think there needs to be more done to make golf more fun for younger people. And or even just shorter courses or different ways. Because another analogy I use is golf can be boring on TV. But if you show somebody a golfer with an 8-foot putt and if they hole it, they're going to win a massive tournament and win $10 million, that's so exciting.
Yeah,
but yet,
totally.
the Thursday of a European Tour event in Belgium and it's the first group out, how's that exciting?
Yeah, it's not, is it?
See, I don't really watch golf either.
We don't really do it massively.
No,
I don't.
I watch
certainly.
everything.
He
Yeah.
watches
Yeah.
everything.
Women's golf, kids golf, every
Really?
golf.
I've no
Yeah, love it.
interest. Unless it's Ryder Cup, I've no interest.
I'll dip in and out. I like to keep my finger on the pulse just so I know if somebody asks me what happened at the weekend. I feel like I know enough,
Yeah.
but I don't religiously watch it every single minute of every single day. But you do, Ange. You're really into
Well,
that.
it's
Yes.
when working from home,
unhealthy.
it would always be on. It would always be on.
Really?
Yeah. I just love it. It's like for me, it's like snooker. If you put it on, if you haven't, you can dip in and out of it. You can see the scoreboard, so you know who's doing what. You haven't. It's not like a 90-minute game of football.
Yeah, that's true.
Where you know, if you go to the toilet, you could miss a goal. You're like, oh, it's just it's quite a nice. It just ticks along nice. Yeah, I love it. I love golf.
And people find that weird to me. They was like, "What do you mean you didn't watch the Masters?" I might put it on a Sunday.
I mean, I think
just
it's
to-
crazy. You don't watch the Masters.
Yeah,
I must admit that's one that
Yeah.
I'm with you
Ryder
there,
Cup
Ange,
all day
'cause
long. Ryder Cup. Do you know? And do you know
Well,
why I
I'm
love?
not saying Ryder
and
Cup's
do you know
bad.
why I
I'm
love
saying
the Ryder
not
Cup?
watching
I
the
love
Masters
the
is
Ryder
mad.
Cup because it's team. They're competing against each other as a
And back
team.
to what you were saying.
Yeah, and I love that.
See, that's your football
I think
history
so,
coming
yeah,
back
and
out.
I love
Almost.
the Ryder Cup. Like with the Masters, I love the course. Obviously, it's amazing. But I'm like,
You're not rooting for anyone.
I don't really. I'm not.
You're a
care.
cheerer. You want to go to Stamford Bridge and you want to cheer Chelsea on, and you
I
have
like
a
that
team.
I like that mentality
Yeah.
of all the fans together,
Yeah.
you know, cheering for one aim for the team to win. Like, I'm happy if someone wins a tournament. Well
Yeah.
done. You know, I think golf's the hardest game in the world by a mile. So I'm happy for the person, but I'm not there. I'm not invested that much in that person to be
Yeah.
like, God, I'm not like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I think that hopefully will change going forward because obviously we're seeing now a lot of the tour pros doing a lot more social media content and Bryson DeChambeau started up a YouTube channel now and
Yeah,
he's put
I
a few
saw
bits
that.
out there and I've watched a few of his videos.
Is it good?
Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah,
it's
it's quite
quite
good
one of them was
insight.
like a half an hour long of his tournament week and the other one he's done was a what's in the bag, which isn't the most kind of out the box content that one, but it was
I think that's what makes it so magical.
well, yeah, but watching that, you feel you know him. There's one scene in that half an hour long video where he goes to the petrol station before a comp and he's in his Bentley, so that's not that relatable. But he doesn't like say him in the Bentley, just happens to have a Bentley car, which is fair enough. And he just stood there in the freezing cold, it's raining, just filling up his gas tank, as they say in America. And even that, I know it sounds weird, but you think these are normal guys, and I think if you could learn more about them, you get more invested, and you probably would cheer them on more. So I do think that's probably the benefit of all this social media stuff at the minute, that we probably will start to see more behind the scenes of some of these golfers. Because I mean, I don't dislike Rory, I quite like Rory, but I don't really feel like I know him or know anything about him.
Yeah.
So if you got to know more about them, I do think you'd start to possibly cheer them on
His current
more.
persona is quite hard to relate with because
Yeah.
you don't
But
see the
I
behind the scenes
also
stuff
think
because he's so
that's-
regimented to what he does.
I also think that's the job of broadcasters and stuff. It's like a lot of footballers get a bad rep. Oh, they're boring. They're just robots. For me, it's because they're getting asked terrible questions that they're going to give terrible answers. So doing the behind the scenes and stuff like that, if they're doing it off their own back, is amazing. But maybe get them when you get half an hour with these golfers, ask them stuff about them and stuff that people want to know. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's all their fault. Some of them there might be, I don't want to talk to the media because I know they're going to ask me
The same question.
bog
they do
standard
every
nonsense
week.
questions, and I'm just going to go, oh yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
big round coming up, and everyone just goes, right, he's a bit of a knob. He's not. He's just answering a question.
I just
Yeah.
think you're going
Which
to
is
get on today.
that's
I'm going to try and shoot low. Yeah, do you think you've got a chance of winning? Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same, like what we talked about earlier, wasn't it, Guy?
Well, that's it. If you look at the big personalities, I'm looking at the book of Sevi now. He obviously had a huge following. He's gone down, obviously, as a golfing legend. Obviously, with his talent as well, but his personality. People like even like Beef on a much smaller scale, but have got such a personality and they're different and they kind of feel relatable and approachable.
Yeah.
It definitely works in their favour.
I totally agree. Totally agree.
He's a good example, isn't he? So honest and true.
Just love Beef.
He was. Well, Rick played him at Wentworth, didn't you? And I
he's
caddied for you
class.
and walked round, and he was. I was hoping he would be like I expected him to be,
Yeah.
and he completely was.
I'm lucky I played with him twice in Turkey and at Wentworth. He's just the best. He's such a nice guy. So going back to this kind of, you were already playing golf. You're bed into football. We've established that now, and that's kind of you like your team. And you like watching all your golf. When did I think we probably covered this in the last podcast, but when did you start to actually go, ooh, I quite like this golf? Was it your brother that got you into it? Was it Ange that kind of pushed that way, or was it an external factor that proper got you playing tubes?
Yeah. So like, I didn't not play golf, but like Ange would go and play twice a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would go and play once or twice a month.
So you had a set of clubs, let's say.
I had a set of clubs. You know.
Do you remember where you bought them?
No.
That really terrible driving range.
Oh yeah.
Behind the back of.
Yeah,
the
really terrible. Yeah, really terrible
Alright,
clubs.
There were no brand, no nothing.
Yeah, I didn't know what I
He was
was
a bit
in.
weird deal at this guy. He's like, listen, son.
Out the back of a van.
He's like, I've got the best
Yeah,
things
mate,
to slice bread at. You've got to
Yeah.
get on these. They're
Yeah.
unbelievable. He was like, all right. And he's how much? They're like, oh, 200 quid. He's like, yeah, all right, okay. Yeah, just bought them.
Yeah.
You had them for years, didn't you?
I did.
Bright yellow bag.
But to go back to what you asked is like, so I was playing, but maybe 4 times a year.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'd get to hole 8 and I'd be like, oh, I can't be bothered. But when I finally, I'd say 5 years too late, admitted I had a problem with alcohol, that I was an alcoholic. When you're sober, you have so much more free time, and you also need to be doing stuff and not just thinking, oh, I'm an alcoholic and I can't drink anymore.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, why don't I go and give golf another go? And it was the best thing I've done.
Yeah.
And I was never bored. I was just like, I'm out with my friends, you know, and we're just walking around.
Something to take your mind
I
off.
think you
don't
still got that frustration, but because you like you're saying, you got bored like after the 7 or 8 hours because it wasn't playing well. And yeah, this is crap. I'm not. Yeah, why am I doing this? But then obviously the more you play because you weren't drinking, the progression started to happen. It was
Yeah.
Takes your
I
mind
played
off it,
12
I guess,
hours
won't it?
now. Yeah.
Takes your mind
15
off.
hours
Yeah,
now, and then
yeah.
after a while I was 18 hours, and we're going back out for another round in the afternoon.
and we're
that
going
was
golf
it.
holidays.
Yeah, you were locked in.
Go on golf holidays and stuff like that, and it just made, like, even when I saw you guys this morning walking out, I was like, the first thing I said was not hello, it was like, can it get any better? Like,
Yeah.
I get a proper buzz from going to play golf that I used to about thinking about going to the pub. Like, I love going on the fairway, especially when the weather was like
That was
today.
perfect
You
today.
can probably tell because we're
Yeah,
absolutely burnt.
Killer
And I-
tomatoes.
yeah, killer tomatoes. But yeah, we got burnt. But I love that. I love being on the fairway. So for me, it sounds a bit dodgy, but I swapped the fairways for the pub.
Yeah.
You know, swap the pub for the fairways.
Yeah.
And it really has helped me. It really has helped me. Yes, I get frustrated. I think I should be better. But I've never had a lesson. So like last week I went to have a lesson. But for me, it's seeing my friends, seeing my brother.
Yeah.
And just enjoying
We
myself.
do definitely spend more time together now because when you were drinking, it sounds like going on about drinking, but
But,
we didn't
there's
really.
a reason to talk about it. Because that's
I
what
got fed up
that
because
was
you
a-
were just drinking.
I
I
was
was
an
like,
arse-
I
I was an
can't be bothered
arsehole.
to play golf with him because I just sort of. That's the only time we sort of drifted apart a little bit, wasn't it?
Yeah, drinking
And then,
ruined quite a lot.
but
of
now
things.
it's back in again, and yeah, we're just back being.
I do want to
mates
dive
and
a bit
brothers again.
deeper into this, if you don't mind.
Not
like,
at all, not at
obviously,
all.
you're very open with your addiction, and it really sent you down the wrong path. Obviously, from an outsider looking in, like, how challenging was that for you? Because I'm sure there'll be people listening who might have friends or family who are having addictions, and
Absolutely,
I
it's
think,
important to talk about.
like, I'd love to know where your angle on this was as well. Like, watching your older brother, your best mate,
Yeah.
somebody you've obviously spent all your life with, and about the Donkey Kong fight that you had.
Diddy Kong.
Diddy Kong.
Diddy Kong racing.
Some fire.
Like, you were seeing, your older brother really kind of not go the right path. Like,
Well,
how did you
killing
manage
himself.
that? Yeah, exactly.
It for me, it was tough. Like, it was tough because Dad had died, hadn't he? And what my biggest fear was, you can tell someone not to do something till you're blue in the face, but if it's an addiction, you're going to carry on doing it. I can't say to you stop that.
Yeah.
Because you haven't got the addiction. So
does it almost weirdly for some people that if you said stop it, it almost drives them on to do it more potentially? I don't know how it works, but
not necessarily. But you have to want to give up and say, I've got a problem here. This is enough's enough.
Yeah.
And I didn't do for like 5 years, and so Ange would be like, stop it. But yeah, okay. It wouldn't deter me to do it more.
Water off a
But
duck's
I
back.
was just like,
whatever.
maybe I'll do it with not for 2 days, and then I'll just go on a 5-day binge.
yeah, my
But
biggest.
then sorry to interrupt, but then I could go, well, he doesn't like me drinking, so
You distance yourself.
I won't go to him because I know he gets the ump, so I'll go to someone else to go for the
Makes
drinking.
sense.
Drinking takes over your life, and it dictated my life for like four years.
Yeah.
Like, so I'd be like, and then these Ange wouldn't want to come out with me because he would be
To
like,
be fair, no one did.
no.
I mean,
My real friends, like people that I love and that love me, were like, oh, we're not. I knew they were doing. They're like, we're not really around Pete. Like, and then they'd probably go to the pub and have 2 or 3 pints together and go, maybe talk about him. But then I'd find that the so-called friends who were like, oh yeah, Tubes and Soccer AM, yeah. So I'd go to Chelsea, and I'd end up with people like, I don't know,
Just randomers.
like I see them now, like, oh mate, and I'm like,
or someone would text you like, "Oh,
hello, how you doing?
No idea who he is.
No idea.
No.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'd talk face to face. They're like, how's it going, mate? It's been a while, isn't it? I'd be like, yeah.
They could almost show you pictures of you and
they
him
do,
together.
they
You
do.
and them
They
together
do,
and go,
yeah, they do all the
do you remember
time.
this night?
Yeah,
You go, yeah, great night, wasn't it? The amount of times that happened was crazy.
So, like, from somebody from the outside again, did you feel like you had any level of control or any way of being able to convince him? Like, and again, I'm doing this more from a learning experience.
Needs to be
And it will help. It will help
listeners and
people.
viewers.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how I would deal in that situation. Because look, I mean, touch wood, I've never had to deal with that.
Yeah.
But it must be a real challenge because it is the stress it puts on your family and your friends as well. And I'm pleased, I'm not taking this the wrong. Like I'm not like digging into something or overturning something.
It's an
Do you know
important
what I mean?
subject.
You've always
Yeah.
been super open about it, so I feel comfortable talking about it.
So you should.
Like, did you feel like there was anything that was going to crack the shell of being able to stop him doing it or convince him to do it? He had to do it himself. That was the only way.
That's it. And for me, because you were in a bad way, weren't you? So I didn't want to. I was a bit like, if I push him, then if he's in a bad way, what might I push him to do?
Correct.
And obviously, we just
Could get worse.
Yeah, exactly. We just lost Dad. Mum was obviously struggling a little bit as well. So I was a bit like, I want to help him, but it's not my right to help him. But I can try. I just try and do what I can do. But I don't want him to, to go over the wrong side of it because he feels guilty that he feels like he's letting me or Mum down. So I'm just like trying to be tough love essentially, but not just trying to get that balance of how to be that person without, because if someone tells you, like, say, not to do something, or someone's aggressive, then he'll just come back and go, well, why don't you, whatever off, and then more distance happens. We're not talking. He goes, I don't want to talk to anyone. Then the bottle happens more,
I don't drink more.
and then you're back to square one again, drinking more, and it's
because like there's weird because the death of Dad ramped up the drinking,
Of course.
but then my actions probably made it harder for everyone else to get over it because you've got a son who's got vodka bottles under like and find when I moved back to look after Mum for the first year after Dad died, I was good. I was still drinking, but I was like functioning. Got to be good. Got to be good. Got to be good. Looking after.
There was motivation there.
It was great. But then a year on,
Caught up on you.
that clicked into it, and it wasn't. But we are talking a lot of alcohol. Like from a 10-minute walk from here back to home, I'd have done a bottle of vodka.
Wow.
Really?
It's
and on the way up, wasn't we?
Like a big vault, like a what? A litre, not a. Whatever they're called,
It's a half litre.
Just down it straight.
Bang, 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 bang.
Oh
And I'd
my
do
goodness.
that because I was living with Mum, and she would have known. So instead of I used to hide them. I used to put football socks on, underneath my tracksuit bottoms, and put the vodkas in to get them back into the house.
Oh my goodness.
It was bad. I mean, people go, "Oh yeah," it was bad.
Wow. Did you ever feel Ange, that you're going to lose your brother? And I don't mean that from obviously
I know what you mean,
there's two, or there's one that's as in you lose him. He does something stupid, he has an accident, and you die. Like that, there's obviously there's that risk.
There's a few times.
Jesus, I was lucky.
But also the risk
could have been.
There's that, which is horrendous, but also the fact that you could have been out of contact. You might have never spoke to him ever again, because that happens as well, doesn't it? It tears people apart.
A
Do
lot.
you ever think that, oh crap, I'm losing him?
I always thought you maintained a level, and I think that's the reason why I never wanted to push it too much, because I know other people that haven't had the success sort of that you had with sorting it out. But fundamentally, I just didn't want to push him away.
Yeah.
And for him to do something didn't want to do, or essentially for him to carry on doing what he's doing. And also, I just wanted Mum to just be be happier.
Yeah.
I mean, I've made mistakes. I'm no saint, like he's made mistakes, but that's all I really wanted from it. I just wanted to get that balance of trying to get everyone back on the straight and narrow again without having to force something. Because people that I'm sure a few people watching this will be in the same boat as me. You don't really want to upset the apple cart, but you've got to essentially do it. But you're trying to work out the best way of doing it. But in reality, you haven't really got a clue what the best way is.
No.
And it's tough. I mean, your position's tougher, obviously, but I'd never want to be there. But it's a tough one to manage.
But the only person who can help an alcoholic is an alcoholic.
Of course.
And that's said a lot, but it's so right.
Again, I'm going to wrap up this soon, because first off, congratulations, you've just come up to a new anniversary of how many years is it?
5 years.
5 years sober, which is
Saw the
ridiculous.
Instagram picture, that was sick.
Like,
Yeah,
that
it was
is
so
phenomenal.
Thanks, man.
And you must look back at this now and like, I know we've come quite deep here, but you must look back and go, holy
you
crap,
keep saying
like
that.
5 years.
Don't feel bad about talking
No,
about
it's
it,
not.
because it's important that people hear this, because there's probably so many people listening to this going,
this sounds familiar.
yeah.
How many comments have we had on the channel about this?
Well,
It's
we
so
have
many people.
That's the thing as well, that obviously we've kind of loosely said, but with this podcast, obviously it is a golf podcast at its core, but we've got, we're fortunate we've got a lot of listeners, which is great, and it's growing hopefully week on week. But, within that demographic, it's mostly male. We do have some female listeners, which again is brilliant, but it's mostly male. It's typically middle-aged to younger males, and things like this are happening, aren't they? So, not that we want to become some kind of beacon of mental health, but if we can talk about even if it's 10 minutes in an hour-long podcast once, it could help two people.
Golf helps that.
Exactly.
It's linked to golf.
But even though as well, I think because a lot of this, while you were battling from what I know, you were still working at Sky Sports on one of the biggest TV shows in the country that's so well renowned by so many people. So on the outset, to people that didn't know you might look like you were flying and super successful, and I think it just shows that there is people out there suffering, and don't always judge a book by its cover. And if other people need help, and this might inspire one person possibly to get some help, it's definitely worth speaking about.
A big thing to say is just because you're famous or you're rich or you've got a nice car or you've got that job, it's minimum wage. It doesn't matter what person it is. Everyone will have their struggles. So just listen. Like for you, talk. The biggest thing.
Yeah.
And for me, listen. Like I had to listen to you so many times, and one of the biggest milestone was just. Or you might have said a few swear words and thrown a few punches, but just you had to get something off your chest. But most blokes,
when was that?
Don't in your bedroom.
Again, see, this is
that's
what's worrying.
I never forget it, and you just and
I remember it.
Every name under the sun. I was just like, I know. Do I want to be here? Is it easy to walk away and go? Do you know what? Sod you. See you later. Yeah, it is, but it doesn't. If someone needs to talk, just try and get it out of them. And also on the flip side, if they're ready to talk, be there for them, because listening is, it's a big thing for people that have got an issue.
That's one thing as well, kind of slightly off topic, but on topic, that I sometimes hate about golf, how there is a drinking culture with it, where if you don't drink, for whatever reason that might be, you almost get frowned upon. And one little story I remember that happened to me is I'm not really a big drinker, and I'll often have spells of maybe going a year or two that I'm having a sip, which just doesn't agree with me. I've never had an issue with it as such, but just don't really like drinking that much. I get terrible hangovers even off a couple of drinks. But I remember I was fortunate enough to be in Abu Dhabi at an event. It was the one that Tommy Fleetwood won in 2017. And I was there with my old job. And randomly I was with, I won't mention this person, but quite a famous golfer's caddy who I didn't know at all, but he was with the people I was with. And he was going to the bar to get around in. And he said, oh, what do you want, Joe Blogs, whatever, and everyone. And I said, oh, what do you want? I said, oh, just a bottle of water. What? Not going to the bar for an effing bottle of water. Yeah. And in the end, he kind of got it reluctantly. But he didn't ask me. I didn't want it because I was working. I didn't really want an alcoholic drink in 40-degree heat. But he never asked, like, anything. Well, exactly. And some people might have then either felt horrendous about it or might have, to peer pressure, gone, oh, well, I'll have a half then. And I just think, I'm not saying everybody, but there is quite a thing. I see it sometimes with people I know, certainly at golf clubs, where it's a culture where you sometimes get made a fool of or laughed at for not wanting a drink or, you know, and I just think, you know, if that's your mentality, you need to chill out a bit because you never know what people's reasons are for anything, not just alcohol. But
and so many people like drive home from like golf when they finish golf. Like again, that peer pressure can go on, just another one. Go on, just have another beer.
Yeah, I mean, full well, he's already had 3.
Exactly, and suddenly you're thinking like it's not only your own life you're putting at risk, everyone else's as well. That's that you're driving home.
Drink driving is.
I think people listening, obviously, be conscious of people, be conscious of people's situation. Not only what they're going through in life, because everyone is going through challenges and whatever it may be, but also like guys saying there about pressure and peer pressure, and that's something really important as well. I feel like we've gone super deep here.
It's super deep, and I'm going to add to it. If you are struggling in any way, if with drink, drugs, depression, talk.
Yes,
you have to talk.
Number 1 tip.
If you have to talk, a problem shared is a problem halved.
And if you know someone, always be there for them, no matter how hard it gets, because hopefully there is light in the tunnel for everyone.
Well, look, there is 5 years.
Yeah.
That's class.
No, thanks to
still hacking around a golf course.
Yeah, still not any good at golf.
Kind of jumping on then a little bit from, obviously we're going to talk a lot in this podcast and we kind of have them.
I thought you were going to say fancy a beer.
Let's get the corona out, lads.
What we obviously love about golf, and there's lots of those things. We've come on to those, I think, a few earlier. We'll probably come on to it again. But touching then on one of the things I hate about golf is sometimes that thing about people forcing to drink or whatever. But for you two now, obviously playing a lot of golf, is there anything in golf or golf culture that does your head in that you don't like? What is it that you think you could change or you would like to see change? Is that, we sometimes said how there's stuffy people on the golf course, or what are the things that kind of grind your gear, so to speak?
For me,
Ange, you might just come a little bit closer.
For me, fundamentally, and I won't name the golf course I was a member at, but they made it really, really, really hard for juniors to be accepted. And there was, I know it's moved on a little bit now, but there was an area that only, adults could go to, and I just think, without getting morbid, those old people will eventually move on, and then that golf club has got no one coming up underneath it, no one playing there. And what happens to the golf course is it doesn't do very well. And I just think people need to be more accepting to everyone, not just young people, but everyone within golf courses, and just try and make it so it's it's more acceptable to everyone to play the game, because golf is a great game, and I think more people need to play it, no matter if you're rich or poor. Just try and find levels, a way of getting into courses and being more inclusive.
Yeah, I feel like that has changed enormously, even when I was a junior golfer. Yeah. You're right, I used to remember like snooker rooms where the kids couldn't go in, and this, like, there's loads of places that I feel like it's changing. I do. I've not probably experienced it loads yet, and I'm sure there's plenty of junior listeners going, it's not changed at my club, it's still stuffy or whatever.
Do you think there's a balance though? So I was play devil's advocate, because I was a junior golfer and I loved it, but equally, that's just for the point of this, if you're a member of a nice golfer who spent $2,000 to be a member for the year, and you're in the snooker room, and then some juniors who pay very little, which is how it should be, come in and start making a bit of a noise, and you wouldn't have gone on the table, do you think that would annoy you, or is it completely...
If you're an adult and you pay the same amount as a junior, do you reckon they would change their mentality towards the junior pro because they paid the same?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Possibly not.
I like this conversation.
I
don't know what I think about it.
The person and
but
what they can and can't get away with, rather than being accepting to everyone.
I'm really playing devil's advocate because I was a junior golfer from being 8 till 18. So and we had rules where you could play in the men's comps if you're off single figures. So it was a kind of, if you're good enough to be
up here though.
That was up here, yeah.
See, I think people up north are friendlier anyway.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No, but I think it's more chilled. Am I right in saying? I think.
I didn't grow up north, but
I assume. I just feel that up north maybe it's a bit more like family friendly, like with golf courses.
I think
might
it
be
depends
wrong,
on the
so that-
venue as well.
Yeah.
Like I was a member
I
of
think
kind
where
of
we
a,
come from, do you know, where we, like, you know, when you were younger in the courses, it's in Surrey, you know, money maybe is like,
Yeah.
people a bit more stuffy. I don't know.
My experience could be totally wrong. People could shoot me down, but every course that I turned up to, whether I was a member at it or just a pay and play, it always felt like it wasn't my place to be there. And I know Rick's obviously said it's moved on, and I think it has moved on, but I think there's still a lot more work to do to make it inclusive to everyone.
What do you think? I know it's a proper cliche discussion, but I still think it's got some value, like the dress code and stuff. Like obviously, like you guys wear Puma and they're very sporty and they're aligned to the football brand and stuff. But is that a barrier? Because it's how many kids want to after school put essentially school pants back on or school shorts and a polo tucked in with a belt and stuff? Like, do you think that is still a barrier?
I don't think so. I think it's got so much more relaxed now. When you see people walking around like the proper golfers in hoodies,
Mm-hmm.
do you know what I mean? I think that has helped, and I think that has helped the
Tyrrell with the BMW,
younger generation coming up. Even someone seeing a top golfer in a hoodie playing golf, they're thinking, oh,
What's your thoughts on it?
yeah.
I think it's enormously changed.
Yeah.
Dress code, like outrageously.
Do you like the change?
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. I like wearing golf gear though. So if someone said to me right now, and I think we've had this conversation before, you can wear whatever you want. Literally, you can wear whatever you want. You can wear jeans, you can wear a t-shirt, a bloody a vest, or whatever.
Yeah.
If there was literally no rules, I still think I'd wear golf gear to some degree.
But then,
But what sort of golf gear though? Are you
Pretty
going
much
like?
what I'd already wear. Like I wouldn't massively change anything,
No.
massively, because I quite like getting into my golf gear. I like putting on smart pants or pants that are golf pants. I don't particularly like playing in jeans and stuff, but I like going to the driving range.
I was going to say that if we went to the range, you'd always wear jeans.
Yeah, but then I think when I'm on the
I
golf
wouldn't know. I
course,
think there's nothing worse than wearing jeans playing golf.
see, I don't mind it.
Imagine wearing jeans out there today.
I just couldn't do it.
Well, until about
Could not
a
do
month ago, Rick used to wear jeans all the time, didn't he? He's now got into tracky pants.
it.
Guys
tracksuit
converted
bottoms.
me. And again,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd massively want to go and play golf in tracky pants, like proper golf though. That's what I'm talking
Well,
like.
no,
yeah, no, I agree.
Me and a few mates,
I'm with you.
if we like,
I like getting dressed up.
I feel like I'm in the wrong
Like a night out.
situation to say. Me and a few mates out having a few beers on the golf course, and I might
that's
just chill
cool,
out with it, with
yeah.
like tracky pants and whatever, and like if I was playing holiday golf or whatever. But I think when I'm playing golf, I do want to feel like I'm playing
Yeah.
golf.
I agree with that. The only thing, like, so at Marriott we've been today, they're really relaxed. It's like a hotel course. My home club, it's not the best club in the world, but it has got a dress code, as most do. But sometimes I'll be at home thinking, you know what, I just fancy going in a little bit of chipping and putting, but I'm in my tracky pants and I can't over getting put my golf stuff on. It actually, lazy as it sounds, stops me from going. So it's that.
Yeah.
I also think, and I'd love to test this as well. I'd love to do this. Actually, a really cool video. Who would actually say anything? Like I don't know if I've ever actually seen somebody be stopped for what they're wearing. I'm sure people listening will definitely say. Have you guys ever been? Once.
Once, obviously not going to name the course, but
Name them. Name.
no, you know it well actually. But yeah,
Black socks.
Yeah, I wore black socks, and they just couldn't wear black socks on.
It's actually the place I used to work.
Yeah.
Because I actually used to endorse that dress code. I actually used to endorse it, and I hated it. Absolutely hated it. Was that recent?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Jack Butler.
Because it's changed against us since.
But
sure.
don't want to name names on the podcast, but the guy that you know that I know, he was cool. He was,
they were unbelievable,
yeah.
and I was like, going back to it, I totally respect people's rules.
Yeah.
I don't understand those rules though.
Yeah, I mean,
There's one golf course I can't remember. You have to have the socks over the. Why?
It's crazy. What's the point of wearing socks?
Do you want to know the most ridiculous one I've ever heard? My old golf club I was a member at for a couple of years. It's a decent track, actually. Clubhouse is a bit weird, but old. You're allowed to chat in there, obviously, and discuss and have dialogue at any volume you would like. You're also allowed to watch Sky on your phone when the telly isn't on for whatever reason, but you can't be on your phone in the clubhouse. Now, if there was no phones whatsoever, I'd almost get it. It's like a bit of a weird rule. But you can be on it, you can be texting, you can be watching sport on your phone, completely okay.
How dare you place that phone near your ear?
I know.
Just put it on loudspeaker.
Do you two guys know who are big into golf why that is?
About the phone?
Yeah. Where's it come from, and why can't you talk about?
Is it just something ringing on the course and it's kind of come into the clubhouse somehow?
But you can have Sky Sports on it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think going back proper though, if you look at what golf was back in the day, it was an opportunity for, and again, this is not what I believe, it's what happened. It was the way of men going away to a sanctuary to play golf, go in the clubhouse, not chat to anyone, not be contactable.
Put your shirt and tie on.
Yeah, that was your time, that you don't get disturbed and everything else. So I think when the phone started to become more popular, the committees of these places didn't want that leisure time to be disrupted in any way capacity at all. Do you get what I mean? So I think that's kind of potentially where it started. Yeah. But we've got to bear in mind, the evolution of the phone has taken place so quickly in the last 20 years that some places have kept up with the times, some haven't. Yeah. I must admit, though, I feel again, there's not many golf clubs, and we've been to some lovely golf clubs. I've been to some mega golf courses. Again, I've never really been told about being on my phone or being on my laptop or I've never again. I'm sure there will be places that endorse it and are really strict. I think give it another 3-5 years, it'll be completely different.
You know what I think it is? I think a lot of the places that we go to are more aware of it, which is probably why we're filming there in the first place. Because a lot of the small member-run clubs were very much the secretary of this, the committee of this, the committee of the other. Yeah, and it is a bit dated.
I think of a golf club.
What has rules like that?
Yeah, because like we played at like championship golf court, like, and you just don't feel like.
Yeah. Do you think it's a bit different for you guys though? Because if you're there,
we do what we want.
We do what we want. We do what we want. The Rick Shield podcast. We do what we want. No, but that you're there and you're going to put some custom their way big time. So maybe they don't say it to you, but
possibly. But I do also think we
turn a blind eye.
If they stand by those rules, though, then surely they don't want, because more people are going to turn up wearing that gear.
But you've seen what happens in Sky. There's one rule for one.
I bet there's one course that we did a 75 at that wouldn't allow that. One where I played, but obviously not the
Pressborough.
Yeah,
no, they did.
They let you
on my phone.
Fair enough then.
I was on the balcony doing it all.
Oh, fair dues.
And I said, like, to the waitress, I'm going to use my laptop and my phone. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like, brilliant. Yeah. So like, but you're right though. There will be some probably other rules that I think
can't change your shoes in the car park at some places.
I'm intrigued by these mad rules and who comes up with them and why.
I would be really like, and again, I'm sure people listening going, yeah, I've definitely been collared about that. I'd be surprised how many people are actually properly enforcing these. It's a video for you guys.
I'll give that a go.
How many golf courses can you be kicked out of? I think because
that's the title sorted.
Because you're right. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. Coming with a tie around your head.
He's back drinking again.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rick. I've got actually next week's podcast is pre-recorded because obviously I'm away. That's Min Woo Lee, European tour win, a really good guest. But the one after that is going to be kind of a normal podcast. So let's maybe start a new topic, a new feature. So if you've got a stupid golf rule, you want to email us. It's podcast.
Can we come back for that one?
Of course.
Yeah.
You can text us some ones that you've got as well. So it's podcast@rickshiels.com and send them in to us, and we'll read out a couple of them next week.
It's a great idea.
Picture proof or like stories. If you've been banned from golf clubs for wearing the wrong socks, we want to know.
Stupid golf rules.
Get marched out by the bouncer. I
feel like we should shame these places too. I mean, that might be a stepping over the mark. But I think we call them out and go, Mr. Anonymous has said such a golf course didn't let them play because of this or there.
I'd like to give him a chance to answer and go, why is that still the case?
Oh, that's nice.
That's a great idea.
And then if they haven't got an answer to it, go, well, everyone's got to move on.
They might come back and say, well, it's our golf course, that's the rules. If you don't like it, don't play it.
But that's fair enough.
But you want to know why the rules are in place.
Yeah, all right, but why?
Because I think some of those rules have been they're so old that they might not even looked at them. They might have gone, okay, well, let's reevaluate these.
Yeah. I mean, I must say, I'm saying all this, but you know I have some odd rules at my house.
Go on.
So
you have to take your shirt off when you walk in. Really weird.
That's mandatory.
It makes me flex.
When we going?
You have to take all labels off any drink.
Oh, what a story that was.
All labels off. You've got to swap your shoes on your feet, so you go left on right and right on left. It's just listen, a few little things. Yes, the bowing and the kissing of my feet might be a bit too much, but still,
funhouse.
The shrine that you've got to stroke.
That is my favourite. How Rick won't let you have a bottle of water with a label on, but I've got a kind of old Monster on the side over there that's just giving free PR to Monster.
That's all right. It's an old one.
I was going to say, are you sponsored by them?
No, I just have a mild addiction to Monster. And,
that was a more fun topic, definitely. I want to move on to now. I think this is a great opportunity to really plug your kind of joint YouTube channel now, because it didn't start that way, did it?
No, it's always been joint.
It's always been joint. Yeah,
But the name wasn't joint, was it? Was it not called Tubes originally? Or
It
what
was.
was
It
called?
was called Tubes Golf Life, and then you're right. You are right, but it was always joint. But it
So
was
you were
Ange
behind the
camera.
scenes.
You always get involved, and I said no. I said I don't, because initially I thought because he's been on Soccer M and he's already a celebrity, famous, or whatever you want to call it.
Don't ever say that.
Exactly.
Influencer famous.
Hence why I did that, and it looked awkward because I know you hate it. But yeah, so I was like, let me just do the behind the scenes stuff essentially, and then you're the face. People know you're the face, so you just stick with that, and then down the line maybe introduce me. If it works, give it a go, and if it doesn't, then we won't do it. And then
Well, thinking if it flops at so long tubes, then if it goes well, then you can come on.
little safety net. Thank you very much. Yeah, no.
But he came on during COVID when the golf courses came back. The first lockdown, we tried one of the vlogs with me and Ange because we couldn't get to guests and stuff like that. And he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant.
You do seem quite natural on camera.
He's funny. He's so funny. He's so funny, and it was always the plan to, in my eyes, to have different strands, but doing the challenges, the two brothers,
vlogs, lockdown
and
challenges, etc.
he won't take it. He'll be like, ooh, he's brilliant. He's really funny, and the
hopefully,
audience.
yeah.
No, you are brilliant. And
Don't let me go and know in the comments if you don't like me.
you get people like that all the time.
really
Like,
messy.
oh yeah, what's he doing on there? Like, but it's minimal. We're lucky we don't get that much, but you get regular clients who are arseholes.
Also, when we started out, we were tiny. It was literally me and you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I was doing the editing and the filming, and we had Robbie who helped us out a lot back in the day. But then,
Shout out to Robbie Knox.
Yeah, and shout out to Labbers, our guy that we use.
Raven Pig, you'll know him if you know our channel.
Yeah, we can't do without.
He's so talented.
Yeah.
Piglet.
Which
Labbers,
obviously
Scott.
he does that. It gives me time to do stuff more on camera rather than behind.
So yeah, it
behind
was
the
called
scenes.
Tubes Golf Life, but then Ange was on it a lot, and I said, "Come on, it's Tubes Ange Golf Life." And
Right.
Reluctantly
So,
said yes.
and it's good. It's good. I love it.
Whose idea was it originally? Where did it come from?
Well, it all stems back from the interviews, isn't it? I was like, there's something in
As
this.
you mentioned before, the rushes that were left on the
I
floor.
was just like, footballers are playing golf more. Golf's becoming a middle. It's more accepted to everyone. Like we're talking, more people were starting to play it. Footballers were playing it, and I was like, you've got a good relationship with footballers. Why don't you do what you do on a golf course rather than in a room with 3 cameras and just static, not talking about it? It'd be more dynamic. It'd be more interesting. You can play games within interviews, tie it all into one, give that a go. But you were drinking at the time still, weren't you?
Yeah,
So
I think
you wanted to, but you couldn't do it because you.
Liability.
It was occupying your time.
The drinking thing. I know you don't want to go into it. But
I don't mind.
no.
honestly.
But it was like I was never. I could be good for 2 weeks, and I could be like on form, and we could go and film some golf stuff. And bang, great. But then because it went so well, I'd go missing for a week because I was so buzzing. So
You've got to stay consistent
and
with
with
it.
YouTube,
Exactly.
we've learned from you guys, since we started it's like the consistency is important, and the upload and all that. I was in no fit state,
Yeah.
to do that. I couldn't commit.
You also didn't quite get the concept.
Plus, I was like,
of YouTube either, because I've got a couple of YouTuber friends that are sort of obviously not on your guys' scale, but quite sort of 500,000 and a 250,000. And I met Steve Booker, wasn't it?
Steve Booker, yeah.
And it was a Eden Hazard shoot, wasn't it, at Chelsea training ground?
Yeah.
And obviously we've worked at Sky and we've got all the cameras there, and it's a big event. And I remember Steve just turning around to Pete, because I actually got Steve to play golf with us at Tyrrell's Wood. And I remember you saying in the car park, you were like, this is not a meeting. I'm not, just don't, if you start talking about YouTube, I'm not really interested. I'm like, okay. So we started playing it, eventually eased it in. And then, we showed him a video of the Eden Hazard, and he was on social. And Steve was like, yeah, you do that with a guest on our channel, and it'll bang like that. And he was like, but yeah, what about the graphics? And he was like, yeah, people can make them with half a talent.
And you were like,
and you were just. I remember the moment you were like, okay, and then you got excited because when you're into something, you are like you. I've noticed you're fully in, on it. But you don't see the
personality.
you don't see the vision
That's where
to
I
get
tunnel
there.
mine into this.
Yeah.
that's, you know, it's like everything. Like once I got talked around into thinking it, and then the next day I was like,
Oh, you're
John Terry. I was like, bang, and I was like, got him. He's sorted. He's doing it. Jimmy Blood.
Yeah, it was just getting that initial belief that it could work, and then once you got that belief, you were like, right,
got addicted to it.
Like, when you look now, though, it's a legitimate channel. I mean, you know, obviously you guys know how well you've done, but you have done really well. You're obviously chasing down that 100,000 plaque very soon. I think you're currently on like 95, just over 95,000.
Yeah,
so just after this has gone live, hopefully you'll be right on that. You've had just over 11 million views on the channel. Getting about 1 million a month at the minute, it looks to be. So you really, that's,
had a good couple of months
post really
lockdown.
Well. Obviously, you're big on Facebook as well, so they're growing on there. But it's we've had this conversation before, and we won't go too much into the whole world of YouTube. I know not all listeners are that bothered, but it's a strange platform, isn't it? Obviously, Rick knows as well as anybody, because sometimes you'll create a video that you know is one of your favourite, and it doesn't get the views you expected, or sometimes one that you didn't think was that great does really well, and it's a tough platform to be on. But I'm guessing for you guys, when you get your hands on that silver plaque, that will feel special.
Yeah,
it's just a journey.
First of all, hopefully we do get there. It's so much special that it's me and my brother and Lavers, and I've got to say Robbie Knox as well. Like back in the day, he helped us. But it's such an achievement because we've done it together. Do you know what I mean? And it's our idea. It's our content. It's, you know, we've worked so hard for it. And you are right. I'm more than Ange. It upsets me massively when we put a video out and I'm going, he's doing that and he said that, like he's never said that before, and it does get me down. I can't lie.
In what way? The comments? Did you?
No, the comments are great. The comments.
What do you mean by then?
The figures.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
right,
first hour when it's not got what you
expect.
expect.
Why is it not one? Why is it not 1 out of 10?
What is that?
It really gets me. To a point.
Literally, half an hour videos released. Text from Pete. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I can't believe he's done that badly. I'm like, okay, just give it time.
It's like it is like a drug, because just for people listening, when you release a YouTube video as a creator on the app on your phone, it gives them a ranking from 1 to 10 on your 10 latest videos. So if you release a video today that's doing really well, it might be the number 1 out of 10. When we get a video that's 1 out of 10, we're like texting, aren't we? Unbelievably excited.
I open bottles of champagne.
Yeah.
I let a white dove fly into the sky.
You take the label off it.
Just
go over to your shrine in your house.
And then when one is coming in 10 out of 10, sometimes we know when we release a coaching video, for example, it never does great to start with, but over 6 months it will do really good.
Yeah.
But if we release one that we expect to be a good one, and it's coming in like 6, 7, or 8 or 9 or 10, it does. Sometimes it can ruin my weekend on a Friday.
I have a teddy cat that I kick. Not a real cat. I kick the cat.
Not a cat called Teddy.
No.
A teddy cat, yeah.
A teddy cat. I kick it. Yeah. I kick it. Punishments take place. I'd stand out.
Sacks me 5 times.
Your poor children. They're like, oh no, Daddy's got an 8 out of 10.
It's called cat time. Just lock him up in a conservatory. Daddy's having cat time.
Just like that in the studio, just shaking. Oh, please
watch Daddy's video.
I'm like, we need to do something. We need to change the title, the thumbnail, something.
What we've not.
Whose idea was this video? Whose idea?
Matty, get in.
And guy says, it was yours. I was like, oh, actually, just give it time. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's managing those expectations. A bit weird, like golf we've talked about. Like sometimes you go out with all the best intentions that you're going to play the best golf in the world. You've been to the driving range. You think
similar,
I'm absolutely striping it. You step on that first tee, you have a nightmare. Sometimes it's a bit like with YouTube, like everything you've done well, but sometimes as it goes into the algorithm, it just doesn't pop. It doesn't set fire. Sometimes it does. Again, later. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to be frank with you, and Guy will vouch for this. It doesn't change. Like, it doesn't matter how big the channel is. That is still the same. Like, it's a blessing, this 1 out of 10 rating, but it also can be a curse because it can really, because also your content will be very varied. If every single week you released a video that was so unbelievably similar to the last episode, for example, yes, you would expect growth all the time. But as your videos and our videos are very different to each other week on week, you can't grade them the same way.
No, you're right.
And like, what's really interesting with yours, obviously, you mentioned just earlier, you had one of your idols on your show recently, Zola.
God, yeah.
Which is like massive. But then, kind of working it out before, like if you're not a massive Chelsea fan or you didn't grow up in that era or whatever, you might not watch. Biggest thing in the world for you. And it's an amazing credibility point, and the video will be massive, and I'm sure it'll go huge views in the future. And it gives your channel huge credibility that you can pull in these superstars. But sometimes that video doesn't pop because it's just like, maybe not as many people are interested in that topic, potentially.
And it's something I'm learning, because like I was bad when I like it.
You still are.
Yeah, I'm still bad, but not as bad as I was.
Yeah.
I've got better. But it's like
you wait 20 minutes to text me rather than 10.
Yeah, shut up. But like, I suppose it makes it harder for me as well, where I can do an interview for Soccer AM, and then within a week it's at 1 million views, and I'm like, yeah, but the golf one I've done much better. But
so much more effort and time. And
But where does that go? Does that go on YouTube?
Yeah,
as well.
So I know Soccer AM's got 1 million subscribers, so I understand that. But I'm like, the vast difference of the views on that one from something that you've got so much more information and laughs here.
Look, how long's that been going for? Like,
yeah, I know, but I've got no patience.
Do you know what I mean? It's all that side of it.
The
as
other
well.
thing I sometimes I'm not very good at, and I think Rick's in the same boat, and I'd be interested to hear you guys. I'm guessing I know the answer already, but like, when you reach looking for a milestone, obviously, as I said again, you're fast approaching 100,000, which is incredible. And it's the first real milestone that YouTube recognise. Obviously, they send you out the silver plaque, which again we touched on. But like when we hit the 1 million, obviously for Rick that was a much bigger deal than it was for me. He's built a channel from literally 0 to 1 million. I joined him just before 250,000, so it was still a massive achievement, but didn't feel quite the same. But we were so excited.
You should be proud of that, though. That you've been. Yeah.
He did. I gave him a little pat on the back. I don't want to give him too much praise.
Yeah.
No, it was. It
well
was.
done,
It
pal.
was amazing, and
2
we've
mil.
been.
Come
But we've been chasing it for so long, and you hit it, and the first day I was like almost euphoric, but so quickly it's like, what's next?
Yeah.
Next
And
one,
even
yeah.
with this podcast channel, we recently hit just over 100,000, and we were so excited, the plaque on its way, and then now it's like, okay. And I sometimes don't think we actually celebrate it enough. I don't know. Meaning we should go out for a meal or something. We just don't. It's always the next thing. Same with the big video. It's like, that was good. What can be next? What are you guys like with that? You know, when you hit 10,000 subscribers, you're looking forward to that, and then 50.
No, we're like you. We want more.
Nah.
We want to get better and better and better.
Yeah.
I do think that's what drives you, and also
I
like
think that's a good. I think that's
milestones
healthy. I think that's
are-
healthy.
I think it's good, but I also think,
You can look back in
You
the
need-
future and go,
Well,
"This is
yeah.
what we did." That's how I see it.
yeah.
I think sometimes the issue may arise that if you were to actually really go full tilt and celebrate and everything else, you almost take your eye off the prize, and then you kind of go, I've hit that milestone. Like if we got to 1 million, we could have easily taken our foot off the accelerator.
Yeah.
Kind of gone, oh, we're in cruise control now, we're flying now. Why do we have to keep
No,
going?
I have that.
But as
now.
soon as you get over 1 million, we're like, right, our next video is going to be our biggest. Our next video is going to be our biggest. And that's the kind of mentality you need. And I think that can be seen in any walk of life as well.
But that's the reason I brought that up as well, because of golf. It's exactly the same. You could go up today and shoot your best ever score of 79. We go home absolutely buzzing, ring your brother, text a couple of mates. The next day, so well, I've done that. Let's get 78.
Yeah.
And you can never beat golf, can you? And
No.
that's why so many people listening might not create YouTube videos, obviously, but everybody listening plays golf, I imagine.
Yeah.
And it's the game that you can never ever beat. And even if you go out and shoot the course record and you get your name on the board, you
Still
go
better.
home and you think, that put lipped out on 7.
Yeah. So right. So right.
So what's the future? What if you were to put up 3 bucket list guests together for the show? So again, people, I'm sure, hopefully they've watched the channel, but the concept is quite simple. You've got this new edition, which is Beat the Dales, which we did today,
Yeah.
where you two play as a team.
Dales versus Shiels. Whoa.
Is it sometimes handicapped? I guess if they are.
We
not a
normally
pro?
go for caliber of people like yourself. So
Who have we done?
Jimmy Bullard, who's
He's a good player, golf
Yeah.
himself, though, isn't it, as well?
Standards,
You're a pro. So it's only if someone is beep hot. Yeah,
then
really good.
The other ones, like the Zola one, was that just a straight out
four-hole
four-hole
challenge.
challenge?
Yeah,
Challenge.
that's more. That's
Walk and
more.
talk.
So today we've got like me doing a 4-hole challenge with you, Rick. There's pointless because you'll win. Simple as that. But me and Ange can.
Well,
go.
the chat would be good.
The chat would be great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
The golf would be a waste of time, but
we can do more. We can do more filming with you.
More
And
shots, more
shots,
golf,
more golf.
more talking as well. We did loads of talking
Yeah,
today.
and it was really, really interesting. So if there's someone who's really, really good at golf, we go Dales versus.
Right.
But we're going to start doing 4-hole challenges.
yeah, we're going
together.
to do
Yeah,
more.
That'd be
more,
good.
more
It's
together.
Yeah,
good
that'd be
on
good.
You
camera.
have nailed your channel, like we said. Obviously, we spoke to Tubes last year on the podcast and stuff, and I know Rick had been watching a bit. I'd watched quite a bit. My brother's a massive fan of what you guys have been doing as well, so he'd certainly been mentioning a lot of the videos that I hadn't seen, and then I went and watched and stuff
I
like
appreciate
that.
you
But
watching.
Yeah,
no, it's
nice-
good because there's that
nice
people
to hear,
making golf content now, isn't there? And we see, and I think we always do try and help. If somebody reaches out to me, certainly, and I know to Rick, who we know of and's making videos and looking for advice, we'll always try and help. But it's great to see someone doing something different that's original, which yours certainly is. And I really believe that, you're 100,000 now, just under, but I think it's going to get big. I think it's going to get really big.
Hopefully. I mean, we didn't really set out to be original, did we? I just think we'd set out just
Yeah,
to brothers, mates, just enjoying playing golf and having a laugh. Like, I know it sounds a bit cliche, but that really was it.
I think
and
yes and no with that, Ange. I think we set out and said, let's do something like that. You know, we can't do the coaching videos. We can't, you know,
how not to do it.
That's already getting done anyway, though, isn't it?
Yeah, so we thought, like, what can we do on a golf course that's going to get people watching? So I think,
yeah,
I think
and
we
it's
were
things like the way you've made it
original.
fun with. I know I joked about doing the birdie dance and things like that, and you're singing as you come into your intros and all that. Like, that's different, and
And
nobody
we're
else
using
is doing
football
that.
terminology like
Exactly.
Shank Lampard. So,
Shank Lampard.
But that wasn't instant. That wasn't thought about. That's just
No,
us
that's-
being how
yeah,
we
that's
are.
not-
That
we've
isn't
not-
like, oh,
we've
we
not
need to have a new
planned that.
angle.
Yeah.
Like, we need to
We
sing
just
or
talk
do
nonsense.
We just
Yeah.
talk absolute garbage
It's how you
most
do
of
it
the
with all
time.
your,
Yeah.
you've got nicknames on top of nicknames,
Yeah.
on top of
Yeah.
nicknames. 3 guests then.
Yep.
Footballers you want on the show.
Footballers.
Let's go footballs
Let's
first.
go footballers. Okay. The problem with the people that I would love on, I know for a fact don't play golf. And I've been so lucky, well, we both have, but when I say I mean on the 4-hole challenge, I've had John Terry,
Yeah.
like Gianfranco Zola, you know, what John Terry, as well as being, you know, one of the Chelsea's greatest footballers, what he did for our family, which I think we discussed
Yeah.
on before
Yeah.
on the podcast with, you know, when
That's
Dad
scattering
died.
your dad's ashes,
Dad's
weren't it?
ashes.
Slipping us in the back door, legend.
Yeah, it was, you know, the whole family going around Stamford Bridge with Dad's ashes, putting him underneath the ground was a class touch. So we've been so lucky to have these people. So
Has he been on the channel?
John Terry,
Terry, yeah.
yeah. He was one of the first ones to
It
do
really
it.
helped us out again.
What about if you were to mix it and not do out on the golf course? Like, what about if you did like pitch and putt?
You could do
or
mini
crazy
golf,
golf?
that'd
We
work.
talked
talked about the other day
we
doing
talked
that.
about having Dizzy Rascal.
Dizzy Rascal, yeah.
Doing pitch and putt.
That'd be quite good.
I
Well,
love
or
golf
you
or
could,
something like
you
that.
guys could even go to the driving range. Like, you don't
Yeah.
have to. Like,
Exactly,
I think what would be really powerful for you guys, if you were to get a huge football name, I'm going to go huge Ronaldo,
yeah.
right? And took him to a driving range or mini golf or
I'd love
whatever.
that.
Like, how good would that be for golf as well?
Oh,
to show the fun
fantastic.
side of golf. So,
Yeah.
again, we've got no barriers now.
Okay.
Give me your 3.
Right, Messi, because I think
Is he good at English?
no.
Okay.
Subtitles. It'll
Subtitles.
work. He'll
But
get the
I think
Not a
views.
word.
I think-
Imagine
not a
you
word of
two with
English.
Messi.
I think he can get. I think he can get by. Is it 3 each, or are we doing 3
3 combined.
3 combined.
So we'll ask you about golfers in a minute as well.
I'm going to go Messi.
Ange, your turn.
I'm gonna go Harry Kane,
Nice.
Yep. England captain.
I think that's achievable. I think you'll get him.
I think we could
He's a
get
big
him.
golfer too.
I think
Harry
we could-
Kane
I think we could get him.
slash Mr. Bale.
I think this time in 12 months, one of those two will have been on the channel.
What
I've been
about
tr-
what
I've been trying
about
to get Bale. I've been
Bale
trying to get
Kane versus Dales?
Oh, we'd get whipped.
Or just Bale versus Dales.
We'd get
exactly.
absolutely taken to the cleaners.
Um,
One more.
All right.
Are you having those
what
two?
about Bale, Kane, Messi versus Dales?
I'll caddy for someone. Okay,
We need
whatever.
you on the
No,
team.
you're in,
I'll,
yeah.
I'll have to caddy then. Fine.
Yeah.
I'll bring my Motocaddy.
I'd like Didier Drogba. And I know everyone's going to go, oh, he's because he's a Chelsea fan, but I love that bloke. I think he's one of the nicest people I've ever met. And I'd love to talk about all his charity work that he does. He sends so much money back to his country. He's built schools in his country.
Massive charity
And
on Ivory
I
Coast,
think
isn't he?
We could talk about football. You could talk about all that. And he's a dude as well. You can do the Didier Drogba celebration down the fairways. It'd be amazing. So
You've had many managers on.
managers. We had any
No, Sparky didn't come on, did he?
We've had no managers. Well, Gianfranco Zola,
Yeah.
he's been a manager.
Oh yeah. So let's say
no
let's say
current managers.
Current
No
manager.
managers.
No.
Sean Dyche.
Yeah, he's a big golfer.
Yeah.
He is.
I'd like to see Gerard
Yeah,
on there,
yeah.
Stevie
Yeah,
G.
Sean Dyche. I want
That's a
Sean.
good shout.
I'm
Stevie
going. Do
G.
you know what? This summer, I'm going to get Sean Dyche.
He would do
on.
it.
He would do it. We text sometimes. That sounds all like really cringy, but yeah, he's one of the people I do speak to.
Yeah,
as a
he would
manager.
definitely do it.
Have you played with him?
I've played in the same party as him.
Right. Okay.
So we went up to Loch Lomond and it was Sean Dyche, Moyes, David Moyes,
Yeah.
and there was a couple of other managers I didn't really know. But yeah, he was dead into his golf, like well into
He's
it.
a
He would
great
definitely
guy.
do it.
Pep's a big golfer as well.
Yeah.
Pep's a huge golfer.
Pep would. I've met Pep. I've interviewed Pep a few times. He's so intense. I don't know
If it'd work.
he's a foot. I don't know if he'd get it. I mean, Sean Dyche with us, wouldn't he? He'd have
Oh,
such
he'll have
a
a
laugh.
laugh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he'll have a laugh.
Such
Yeah.
a laugh, and it's like what we were saying earlier when we were having a bit of lunch. You were like, you only want people on who's going to come on and enjoy
Of course.
it. I don't think Pep would come on and enjoy it.
That's
I
fair.
think Pep would be like,
Tell you he's a good lad as well, and you could have a match. Is Ben Mee from Burnley.
yeah.
So I used to teach Ben.
Did you?
Left-hander rips it. Honestly.
One
So
of my
you could
old
go
mates knows him. He's
you
a
could
top
go
guy,
Dyche.
apparently.
Ben Mee, you two. Burnley versus North versus South.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Chris Wood also plays golf.
What
striker.
about? Would you?
Not the golfer.
No,
He also plays
Yeah,
golf.
yeah,
Chris,
exactly.
Would you? Have you interviewed, or would you interview on the show? Because I know he's a golfer as well. Sir Alex Ferguson.
Oh, I'd love that.
That'd be quite cool.
I'd
wouldn't
love
it?
that.
I
I
think
would
he
love
be the
that.
birdie dance though. I think he would
I'd
not
love
do
that.
it.
No.
But I am
I
pretty
wouldn't make him,
sure,
put it that way.
even if we got to your level, I say when, come on, Ange, we can do it. I don't think he'd do it.
No.
I don't think he would.
No.
He did an interview recently for Lads Bible with Phil Neville.
Gary
I
Neville.
think that's just because it was Gary Neville.
All right.
Yeah, and he probably got weighed in a lot of money. But
He's got a new documentary
Doc on
coming out.
Amazon.
Look, and they've
I watched it
also
last
said
night.
that's just one of
I
his
don't
media
No,
commitments.
not
Is it
before.
good?
Really good.
yeah.
I'll try that.
I just don't think there's some people that I don't even bother trying.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not me being defeatist. It's just going. I just know from 20 years in the media,
some people
you
just
are not
don't.
getting to.
But
it.
it's
Sir
also,
Alex
he said, would Ferguson be
Yeah,
as
exactly.
good as
I'm
it
just-
would? No, as good as he would be in terms of name, but like you want people on, as we've said with the podcast, who want to be on there. They're going to put not a performance in sense of acting, but a performance making it good viewing.
I've played with him once, Alex. Yeah. A few holes.
Where was
He
that?
was a member at May. They gave him corporate membership
right.
at May. And Bobby Charlton. Yeah.
Right, this is massive. Let's talk this.
Yeah, he's a big golfer.
I know he's a big
He wasn't
golfer.
particularly great,
Is he?
but he was. Do you remember the 17th hole?
Yeah.
The one
Coming
near the
down by the-
massive house
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
There's like a ditch. I think if it wasn't for me, he'd still be in that ditch. I rescued him.
I really
That's
have
my
to get
claim
him
to
out.
fame.
Wow.
What was he like?
Lovely. Couldn't really understand the word that he's saying, but lovely.
Yeah.
And
When-
he-
Yeah, it's a
Talk
harsh
about
accent.
translator. That was going back. He was still managing at the time.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
so that was probably, it would have been pre 2013, probably like 2010.
Were you coaching him?
I gave him a few little pointers, but I wouldn't claim to have coached him. I gave Bobby Charlton a lesson, an actual lesson, and I gave Sir Chris Hoy a lesson as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Played
That's
golf
awesome.
with Giggsy. Due to hopefully have, spoke a bit with Paul Scholes.
Yeah.
He's wants
He's a good
potentially
player,
come
isn't
on,
he?
come on the podcast.
I'd love to get Paul Scholes
Yeah,
on.
he's a really nice
Yeah.
guy.
I reckon we can get Paul Scholes.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. He's well into his golf at the
Yeah.
moment. Like, loves it. Used to teach Carlos Tevez
Did
Golf?
you?
I
When
remember
was
Craig
that?
used to come into Trafford all the time.
at Trafford.
Yeah.
So when he first joined United, he went United then City, didn't he?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So when he first joined United, maybe I joined. No, you know what? I coached him when he was at City.
yeah.
So he came to the driving range at Trafford, and he used to come down with his translator to the driving range.
Wow.
And I used to do this trick where if I knew a famous footballer was on the driving range, I'd let the guys would text me going, "It's Carlos Tevez on the driving range, right?" So I went out there and bumped into him. Oh, Mr. Tevez. And I took like his basket and stuff and go, oh, by the way,
we golf balls, mate.
his empty basket.
Come back.
Like, in his Spanish, in his
Yeah.
Argentinian accent.
2 foot you.
Yeah. And I'd always say, if you want some privacy, sir, I've got a teaching bay that's free at the moment. If you'd like to come down and use my VIP
Nice.
teaching
VIP
bay,
lounge.
VIP, yeah.
follow me, sir.
Come on,
And he'd like look at me like, and the translator would explain. So he
You've
came
literally
down.
got his balls in your hand.
Yeah. I was already taking his basket.
Yeah, basically come with me like it or not.
We went to the teaching bay then. So I was kind of not teaching currently at the time when I had him in, but I'd have the videos running. So the video camera's running.
Right.
And what I do after he hit a few shots, kind of just go, hey, just come have a look at this.
Good.
Oh, you need to do this because it's dead easy to coach. You just use lines and circles
Yeah.
and whatever on the swing analysis. Before you know it, he's bought 20 lessons
Yeah.
and he's coming back like every other week.
I like
Smart.
That's
So,
a
like
good-
it.
yeah.
Tevez, Robin van Persie was
You
another
used to
big
get
name.
the two twins from United coming down. Was it
Fabio
Fabio
and
and Raphael?
Raphael.
They used to go
Silva.
down a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Robin van Persie, literally a week after he signed for United, right? Again, similar story. Come down to
Big
driving
move,
range
that,
with his
wasn't it?
family, right? And it was dead funny. I was quite busy on a Sunday afternoon, and I had maybe a half an hour slot free after I had a client I had in at the moment, and after that client, I had half an hour spot. And I got told again from the lads at the front desk, because it was their thing, that they text me if there was a footballer in.
Yeah.
Because they've got loads of money, haven't they?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not daft. So
Absolutely.
this is my end of the day.
Yes.
So they come down, and again, I thought, but they're robbing my purse. He's literally sold. He's just come to United. This is massive. So my client that I had in, I kind of bargained and said, listen, can I cut you a deal?
This is awesome.
Can I cut you a deal?
Yeah.
Could we possibly cut your lesson? You're striping it. You're hitting it so good. You don't
Can't
need
you?
it.
You don't need
You
lessons.
don't need me
You don't
anymore.
need
Yeah.
me. Can we cut a deal where I owe you half an hour in this current lesson, but I'll give you an hour next time you come?
Good.
Okay? If
Well-
I can kick you out my bay right now.
Yeah.
You
So
got
he said
45
yeah.
seconds to get
He
out
said
quick.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw him again. Bless. I think I annoyed him.
But I bet you got 100
Robin
lessons.
Robin
yeah.
Van
Yeah,
Persie.
600
No,
lessons of RVP.
Before I
Yeah.
knew it, did the similar trick with I did with Tevez, and invited him down and got him in the teaching bay, and he bought another 20 lessons. I taught him, his son, his wife, his daughter, all down there. And then my only last footballer, certainly at Trafford, that I taught was Hernandez. So
Yeah, yeah,
Hernandez
yeah.
used to come
Oh,
down
right.
for lessons. He was probably one of the other ones. And then the other old school one was Harry Kewell.
Harry Kill.
Yeah.
He's Leeds.
Yeah.
This was a really funny one.
He's a good golfer,
I
right?
don't know if I should tell this story. Do you know the Harry Kewell story?
Rings a bell, but I don't know if I know it. I don't know if you should say it.
Probably best. The fact that you're both
Yeah,
saying
if you're
you
not
shouldn't,
sure, then, yeah.
don't.
Maybe leave it for the after hours with
Is
Shiels
it that
Golf
bad?
Show.
Don't think
Give
it's
me a
that
clue
bad.
what to do with it, see if I can
It
remember.
was to do with his grips.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, yeah, I know it. It's
So,
fine.
right, Harry Kewell comes in.
I can't wait for
Hopefully I'm not
this.
talking out of turn. Hopefully I'm not
No, it's
talking
not
out of
that
turn.
bad.
Harry Kewell comes in. He's left-handed, right?
Yeah.
Rips it. He actually really
Yeah.
good golfer. He could really stripe it. I'm going to really big him up just in case this backfires.
Yeah.
Unbelievable guy. One of the nicest people I've ever met.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? So that's that bit out of the way.
Yeah.
But he was nice.
But
He came in one day and said, Rick, I've got my clubs all re-gripped. I went, okay, have a look at them. Right? Now, Harry is married to Cherie Kewell.
Yeah.
Cherie
Yeah.
Murphy, who used to
Yeah,
be over here in the UK, soap star, used to be on
Probably-
Emmerdale,
I think-
something like that. I
Emmerdale
think it was Emmerdale.
Flora,
She
yeah.
came on
about-
Soccer End
yeah.
quite a few times.
Yeah.
She's wicked.
Right?
Yeah.
Says, check out these grips. So these grips he pulls out, right? And they are transparent grips, okay? Which is not weird.
They were called see-through grips at the time. I remember these. The actual
No, I
grip.
don't remember that.
Yeah, the grip was see-through, but
And then on the tape underneath the grip, you could have personalised. So some people would have United,
yeah,
Chelsea
LFC
colours.
and
Yeah.
You'd have the
Yeah,
Union
yeah,
Jack.
yeah.
You'd have St George's flag. You'd have the
Yeah.
Scottish flag, right? Harry decided to have 14 bikini shots of his wife put on the grip.
No way.
Like,
Absolute boy.
so he's like,
I wonder why there's a left-handed 7-iron in there all the time.
he's like, grab hold of this, Rick. And I'm like,
Sorry?
this is a bit awkward. And I'm literally holding. Thankfully, he was left-handed, so I couldn't hit him. But I'm like, where do I put my thumb?
Yeah.
Where do? Oh, hold
Where do you
on.
put that thumb?
Hold
Yeah,
on.
where can I fit this in?
I better not go there. So that was a really funny one. But hopefully, I don't think that's too bad. But
That's
Oh,
not
no,
bad,
that's
not
a
it was
great
just,
story.
It was just
That's
a
not
really
bad.
funny one because I was like,
Mm.
I'm not sure if I like these grips.
Yeah.
Like,
Just
no
hold me the
disrespect.
club. Pass me the club, Rick. Pass me the club.
How-
Yeah,
how
pass me the club.
And how can I say, I don't like these grips? Or like,
yeah.
oh, I don't like your 7-iron. Something wrong with that. Is that one wonky?
This looks awful.
That's the best story you've ever told.
Yeah, so there's quite a
That's
lot
funny.
of footballers like are mega into the golf, and quite a lot of the footballers follow me on like Instagram and stuff now. And like I say, I'm a pretend football fan. I'm not dead into it anymore. I used to be super into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least you don't pretend.
Oh,
to
you're
know-
hon- you're
know-
honest. You're honest with it.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, you literally go, I pretend to know everything. A lot of people do, and people can see through it going, you don't like football. You don't.
Just
massively-
keep on that cut line where
Yeah.
I can just about talk it if I went to get my hair cut or down. Like,
Yeah.
I can just about
Yeah.
carry it off. But
Yeah.
as soon as you start talking about the right back for bloody Wolverhampton, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
idea or whatever it may be.
That's
I feel like
fun.
we've done really well here.
That was real. Considering we
do
had absolutely no notes before this podcast, I knew
Best way to do
I
it.
knew we didn't
Absolute
need
wing,
notes with
yeah.
you guys.
Wing fest.
For 2.5 hours, you did really well there.
Give it up. How long was that actually?
We've got
Really?
no time.
About an hour and
About an hour and a
40, I
half.
Hour and a
1:36.
Wow, is that a record?
No, we've done a couple hours.
Not even close.
Oh.
So let's go. Let's go. Guys, thanks for having on. Thanks for coming
for
on.
having us.
Really
Keep
appreciate
smashing the
it.
YouTube channel. I think you're doing a great job.
Thank
And like
you,
I say,
mate.
we don't praise many channels.
We
That
slag them
means a
off,
lot.
if anything. We love a good slagging off.
So you've done really well to get in the clip.
Oh, good.
Thanks, mate.
Keep it up. If you're not subscribed yet to the guys, make sure you do. We'll put a link down in the description of the YouTube videos and also on the description of the podcast as well. Last big shout out to Motocaddy for being an amazing sponsor for sponsoring the last 10 episodes, and well done to the two Mr. Anonymouses for winning the bag and the Motocaddy trolley. Thank you guys again for all your help. I'm not sure why I'm thanking everyone. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Harry.
At the end of
Thanks, Ladders.
Ladders. Go on, Ladders. That's another one. Go on, Ladders. Got your name for him.
He's quite tall.
Ladders, sponsored by Rick Shiels.
just last bit of housekeeping. If you've got anything to email us, it's podcast@rickshiels.com. I forgot what our new feature's called already. I have to listen back. Terrible golf rules, whatever it was called.
Yeah, we could do
Rubbish golf rules.
Rules at your club that
Yes.
you really, really don't like.
Rule breakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it was called. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
And
need some of those.
lastly, when does this podcast?
So this is out Tuesday, the 8th of June.
And you know that because it's 2 days after Guy's wedding.
I'll be married by now.
No way.
Yeah, that's weird. Isn't
So
it?
Yes.
Guy gets married at the end of this
Hopefully,
week.
fingers crossed.
So good luck with that.
Thank
I
you.
hope everything goes well.
Yeah, that's weird. 'Cause this, I'm saying this now. Yeah.
Sunday the 6th, we get married.
Sunday the 6th.
It's not at the Belfry, is it?
No.
Oh, okay. We're down at the Belfry that day.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine
Yeah.
bumping into these two. Hold on, you'll be swinging an invite. He's only got 30
doing our
guests.
new
You
thing,
guys
sit-
are like walking down the aisle.
Doing it.
Yeah, good luck with that, and hopefully everything goes well.
Yeah,
and
brilliant.
and
Cheers.
we've got Ming Woo Lee on the podcast next week.
And then it's
And
back
then
to normal.
Normal service will resume.
Awesome.
We are done. Peace.
Cool.
Mike,
Man, thanks,
drop.
boys.
Cheers, guys.